Oh, I still have mine. Just in case it's really close, because something happens.
Okay, it is 5:30. I'm calling our city council meeting, special meeting to order, January 26th at 5:30. Sorry about being a little chilly in here. I was gone all day in town and I was hoping Carol would turn some heaters, but I should have double checked with them. So, roll call starting in the back here.
Yeah, River, City of Nickel. City of Nickel anymore.
Nancy Bender, L. Citizen.
Here. Kristen Miller, City Clerk. Captain Cook, President Chick, City Council.
Ken Ferguson, City Council.
Anthony Reese, City Council.
Lloyd Chapman, City Council. Teresa Riley, Position 2, City Council.
Patty Berber Bennett, position 1, city council.
Stephen Tripp, City Metro Mayor. Thank you, everybody. We'll do a, excuse me, pledge of allegiance. You know, the flag is back. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Please.
Lord, who enlightens us, we ask for your supernatural wisdom as we make some tough decisions in the meeting. Help us carefully consider the relevant information that has been gathered. May those sharing information give us pertinent points so we all clearly understand. Help us to be innovative as we brainstorm solutions. Help us to wisely evaluate our options, considering the pros and cons. Help us to be unified in making the best possible decisions and effectively carry them out. Amen.
Okay, we are going to be swearing in 3 of our councilors tonight. Terry Riley, Anthony Reeves, and Catherine Crystal
I'm putting this over here. I don't know.
will be sworn in to their respective seats.
I Captain Cook. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America. Do solemnly swear.
I solemnly swear will follow,
Support
the Constitution of the USA
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and the Charter and ordinances
the Charter and ordinances
of the City of
of the
Mitchell,
City of Mitchell,
and will faithfully and honorably
will faithfully and honorably
demean myself in the office. Demean myself.
demean myself in the office, okay,
City Council,
City Council,
position number 6
position number 6,
for the City of Mitchell,
for the City of Mitchell,
to which I have been elected
to which I've been elected
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. I, Teresa Clark Riley,
I, Teresa Clark Riley,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States of
of
America
the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Mitchell,
of the City of Mitchell,
and will faithfully
and will faithfully
and honorably
and honorably
demean myself in the office
demean myself in the office
of City Council
of the City and City Council
of
City Council.
position number 2
Position number 2
for the City of Mitchell,
for the City of Mitchell,
to which I have been elected
of which I've been elected
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God. Amen.
Read it. I, Anthony Reed, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution.
Excuse me, I think we're supposed to be sworn in.
Yes, I'm just swearing you in, but
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I, Anthony Reed,
I, Anthony Reed,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and the Charter and ordinances
Charter and ordinances
of the City of
of the
Mitchell,
City of Mitchell,
and will faithfully and honorably
faithfully and honorably
demean myself
demean myself
in the office of City
in the
Council,
office of City Council
position number 4 for the City of
for
Mitchell,
the City of Mitchell,
to which I have been elected
to which I have been elected.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Thank you, council. So this is kind of a first in a long time. We have a full sworn in appointed council.
Amen.
So with that, we do have a quorum present. We have 6 seated councilors. Excuse me. Now we need to nominate and vote for a council president. Everybody knows what council president does, right? Their function in regards to that position. Right? Okay. I don't know who had their hand up first, so
Just between those two ladies.
I'll just go in order. And
I'd like to appoint myself.
Okay.
Or nominate myself, not appoint. Have to wait to.
Terry,
I'd like to appoint Anthony.
I respectfully and humbly appreciate that, but I
Oh, stop.
think.
Okay.
Kenneth,
I'd also like to appoint Patty.
so you would like to second the
Second.
nomination?
Yes, second.
Okay, so we have a nomination and a second. I'm not sure if we have to have a discussion or not, or if we just move to a vote.
You had one more person's hand up.
Kathy,
I'd like to nominate Karen.
okay, so we have,
If we would like to second it, it would be appreciated, but so don't have to.
We have one vote.
Take care of this vote first. Okay.
right, if that vote doesn't pass, then we have to go to
Okay.
second one. So with that, then you are being that you're nominated for the position, you're ready to vote for yourself.
Correct.
So in order of 2 through 6, Terry, how do you vote for Council Burbank as council
No.
president?
Nay. Sorry.
Yes.
Council Reeves,
This is one vote, correct, for the,
1 vote
Patty.
for Patty as,
not for Anthony Reeves, no.
Jennifer, aye.
Kevin Cook, no.
okay, so we have 3 no's, 2 yeses. Kathy, would you still like to nominate Terry?
Yes, I would still like to nominate Karen.
I'll second that.
Motion is made to nominate Carrie, seconded by Anthony, to have Carrie as our council president. Carrie, you are unable to vote, being that you are nominated for council president. Starting council position 1, Patty, how do you vote?
Nay.
Councilor Catmull,
Nay.
Councilor Reeves,
Anthony Reeves, yes.
Councilor Ferguson,
Nay.
Councilor Cook, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay, so as of right now, we do not have a president. So with that, we can continue. We don't have to have a council president.
Yes, we do. We need a signer on the bank account.
Well, I have just a brief, being that council president, we don't have one. I will be signing checks until we do get one. I am a legal signer on the account.
Okay, can we like draw a name or
It
something?
has to be voted on. It has to get forward. Whoever is council president needs majority vote.
That's fun.
So if somebody else would like to nominate, or if you guys would like to take a minute and reconsider. Yes,
Suggest something.
Councilor Clerk. Or Madam Clerk.
Maybe the people that were nominated could kind of display or talk about why they feel they would make a good president and maybe do a revote.
That sounds good.
Councilor Herbert, would you like to have a couple minutes to speak on why you feel you would be a good council president? Please.
Thank you. And thank you to the rest of the council as well. Yes, I appreciate and enjoy being the council president. I started and ran my own business in the city of Portland and ran it for 27 years, as well as hired many people, had people that were employees as well as subcontractors that worked for me in that 27 years while I was running my business. I also was a volunteer for the school for my kids went to school at. And I was also a PTA president. So I also had an au pair when I had my business because my kids didn't want to be sat out.
That's right.
So I had one that was in the house and she was also, we happened to live on a corner. So our house was also the house that had all the kids in the neighborhood that were there as well. So running a business that had anywhere between, I normally had 6 to 10 employees, as well as in the busy times, I would have as many as 30 of contractors on a work board, and we work 6 days a week. So I'm very familiar with all kinds of labor laws and things like that, as well as running and bringing people together and helping them decide things for themselves. Didn't have very many problems or conflicts, had all kinds of people that worked for us, from people that were seniors to people that were still in high school. Had people that came to work for me that worked in my office that had their parents come with them to do the interview because they just weren't quite sure what the situation was, because it was doing cold calling. And so I've just been very familiar with working with a lot of people. I've been on council before. I've been on council for 7 years prior to my need to being able to attend to family matters. I was grateful to be reappointed back to the council again, and then to be able to actually go ahead and run for the position and winning my position. I really like to see more people, younger people, come into the council. And that's one of my goals, is hopefully to get more young people to come to the meetings so that when I run again, I have 2 or 3 people that want to run against me for my position. That's what I would really like to see happen. That's for me. I mean, that's my goal as being back on council, because I'm getting older. I want the younger generation to come in and take my place.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
Councilor. Please.
Okey doke. Well, a lot of you know what I've done, you know, the things that I've done. I've lived all over the United States. I worked for companies that gave me the opportunity to be a boss. And as soon as I moved back here in Cook County, I was on the school board and I was board chair for a couple of times. I was on it for 7 years. But I'm not going to go into everything that I've done because it would be a millennium. I want to be president because I love this town. I love this board. I think wise decisions. There's good decisions and bad decisions. I think it needs more guidance. And I think I have the opportunity to do so. I tend to be a voice of reason very well. I've learned that. Basically, I just think, and I love this town. I moved back here after being gone, and I don't know why I moved. But I just like to be the president because I like to voice my opinion. No, I just think I would. I am the voice of reason, and I don't get upset easily. I try to be calm. That's it.
Thank you, Councilor Montfrey. Okay, so now we've heard from both perspectives, both people that were nominated for council president. I would like to proceed. Do we just go to a revote at this time? But I guess we would need a new nomination, a new second.
I'd like to make a nomination that Patty be our president.
Second that. I'm good, second that.
Motion made by Kenneth, seconded by, motion made by Councilor Ferguson, seconded by Councilor Catmull. Yeah, you didn't. So moving to Councilor Riley. How would you vote, please?
How would I vote?
For Councilor Bertha as
No.
president.
Anthony Reeves, no.
Jens Ferguson, aye.
Kevin Cook, no.
Same vote. Councilor Reeves.
May I renominate Teresa Riley, please,
Whatever I call me.
for council president.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Councilor Reeves has nominated Councilor Riley, seconded by Councilor Cook. Councilor Riley, vote for yourself. Councilor Berber, how you vote?
Me.
Councilor Catmull. Councilor Reeves.
I couldn't hear that, I'm sorry. The votes,
The votes. Me.
no, and no. Anthony Reeves, yes.
Councilor Ferguson.
Jens Ferguson, no.
Councilor Cook.
Kevin Cook, yes.
So we're at the same stalemate. Carol.
Would either of you be able to run a meeting if the mayor was unavailable?
Yes.
Councilor Cook. Oh, sorry, fine.
I know Terry's been the mayor before, so I'm sure she could run a meeting if you aren't available, so. I don't know, Patty probably could too, but
Councilor Cook.
I'm pretty sure both of them could, take the place of the mayor if the mayor was not available for a meeting. I both think they're both capable of that. I think, but both of them have, Patty has a lot of business experience in dealing with people in that. This is more, dealing with people is involved in this position, but it's more of concern for the city type thing, in my opinion, that it is. I don't want to see somebody signing to pay a bill and the bill wasn't approved by council, or there's a question on what type of, where this bill comes from, what it's paying, blah, blah, blah. I think that needs to be the most important part because that's a major role, is signing checks. I don't think somebody needs to be be the second signature on a check if there's a conflict of interest of this, a check that, money's going out that council did not approve of, or you know, expenses that council did not approve of, stuff like that. That's my biggest concern is the check signing end of it.
Councilor Reed.
Can I make a motion that maybe we address this table it until the next meeting? And let us rethink this. I mean,
So right now, if we don't have a council president and I'm not available, the clerk is one that has to run the meeting.
well, but you are available, Mayor. And we're just talking about a meeting. We're just putting us off for another meeting, that's all.
I understand what you're asking. I'm just letting you know that at our next scheduled meeting, I'm not available to be at that meeting. We
But
know-
that's what this is about. Holy man.
I'm just letting you know what the ramifications of your actions are.
Oh, Steve.
It's mayor.
Yes, can you please? And that's exactly what would happen. If you want to make a motion, you table it, you can table it. All I'm saying is, in the event that I'm not available, the clerk is the one who runs the meeting. Counselor,
Okay, that brings up something I didn't want to bring up. Our original meeting was supposed to be on the 17th, but since the city clerk was sick, we didn't have the meeting.
Counselor Cook, we are
Yeah.
trying to appoint a president. Please, let's stay on the task of getting through one thing.
I was gonna say, if you're not available, we postpone one meeting for sickness, so we can do the same if you're not available.
That's not, I'm just letting you know, if I'm not available, the clerk is the one that steps in to run the meeting without a council president. I'm not saying I'm not going to, or we won't postpone it. It's information, okay? And that dictates in our charter. Councilor Reed. Oh, sorry, Patty. Councilor Verbal Bennett.
Thank you, sir. I also was president of the PTA, as well as running many things that happened with that. I mean, I only was president for a year, but I was involved in that PTA for 6 years, as well as I was also a local school advisory council member that went right to the school board and talked with them. So I'm very familiar with things like that. And as far as signing bills that I wouldn't have approved, with being the president of the PTA, there were many things that were involved with that and made sure that my whole entire staff knew exactly what things were paid and what weren't paid. Very familiar with not signing off on something in my own business as well as PTA that I would never allow. So no, I also, in my defense, in my business, I've been turned into the Oregon State Department of Revenue for supposedly having unfair trade practices done. So my books were taken from me with an IRS knock on the door and handed my paperwork and everything I had. And this was before things were on computer. And they held my books for 18 months before they gave them back to me, with a letter telling me that my books were the best and the nicest, cleanest set of books that that lady had seen in years. So yeah, I don't write in unless I have a receipt. And as far as anything like this, it has to go in front of council before anything can get signed off.
I don't know the count, I know.
I was
Councilor Ferguson.
I'm sorry. So two things is also, first of all, the signing and writing checks is not something that just comes in and out of the office as like it's an open checkbook. And I think we all understand that. So that's should be put off to the side. The second thing is for the both parties is the question, the availability and the capability of being able to be show up to sign checks and the online communications to be able to work online and make communications happen. So that's the most important thing is being able to actually show up and be there to make it happen.
Thank you, Councilor Ferguson. Clerk, I believe you were next.
So out of this council and previous, Counselor Riley has never come look at the bills. Counselor Verbanek has. Making that clear.
Council Reeves.
I move that we table this vote until next month. Vote of electing a council president.
Councilor Cook.
Make also note, I've gone up and seen the bills several times.
I think what she was
And I-
pointing out, who is being nominated as president.
I used,
So we have a motion on the table to table, we have a motion on the table to table appoint the president till our February meeting, which is February 20th, I believe. Okay.
I'll second it.
Motion been made by Councilor Reeves, second by Councilor Cook to table our appointing of council president until our February meeting, which is February 21st. Open for discussion. No discussion. Second, Councilor Burke-Bennett, how would you vote?
Okay.
Councilor Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilor Catmull.
This table it to next.
Table it till next meeting to appoint or nominate and vote in the council president.
Okay.
Was that yay or?
Yeah.
Council Reeves,
Anthony Reeves, yes.
Council Ferguson,
No,
Council Cook.
Yes.
So it is tabled till our February meeting to appoint a council president. And Council? Okay, changes to the agenda, motion to approve agenda or amend as presented.
One change, which is to move an announcement about Representative Smith to correspondence.
Thank you. Okay.
I would like to, add to agenda a few, upcoming budget topics.
Move to a vote. Does the body want to entertain?
Okay.
Could you give a little more insight of,
Basically doing some ideas about budget prep. What might need to be done before we actually get into creating the budget and everything.
I believe that was going to be handled at a work session.
Like get it done quicker and earlier, but that's fine.
I-
At least some ideas.
That would be something that you go to a work session for. It's not something that needs, it's on the agenda item, needs to go on the agenda. It would be great that we do look forward to addressing budgeting, budget training, anything to do with budget in the very near future.
That looks good.
Madam Clerk,
The body needs to take a vote whether they would like to entertain
Oh,
that on the agenda.
it needs to be seconded, then, right?
Right.
So Councilor Cook has made a motion to. Could you restate your motion? I'm sorry.
Make a motion to discuss some pre-budget ideas and topics.
Councilor Conrad.
I second that.
Motion made by Councilor Cook, seconded by Councilor Quant Riley for discussion of budgetary items, a budgetary discussion. How's that? Open for discussion. Councilor Reeves.
How would this take place in a work session or a regular meeting or how?
I want to discuss some things that I would like to be able to make, or somebody to make a motion on to do or not do, so we can get a vote in, so we can possibly act on it now before we have, before we proceed with the budget, and a work session, we won't be able to vote.
Meeting there probably. A regular meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Carol.
I'm sorry, but I think that's what the work session is about. Yeah, we don't need to bring up city council time here, trying to figure out what to talk about at the next work session.
Yeah, like I said, but at a meeting like now, we can discuss it and make a motion and vote on it to do it or not do it. And that'll give us at least 1 month advance. Because at a work session, we can't vote or make decisions or motions on.
But that's what where you come up with ideas. to
You
get
do everything but vote on it. Right now, you have not given any information about anything. Nothing has been presented. So, Councilor Bannon.
I thought in the work session that we're supposed to have next week, or one of the other correspondences that I've gotten here recently, is that there is gonna be budget training.
Budget training is in March, and it was also on the paper that I gave you for
That's right.
coming updates. So there is
Yep.
March training through Oregon Department of Treasury. There is also training through League Oregon Cities. And there is training that you can go to right now that's not live. The ones that are coming up will be live, so you can ask questions as they're happening.
And wasn't there like 3 or 4?
There's a 3 series in March. I think it's, I have it as the 17th, 21st, and 25th.
Yep.
And then the League Oregon Cities one is the 17th. If you guys would like to, have that on the agenda to maybe pay for one and some people get together and watch it together, then we could
Yes.
utilize the $59, fee.
Yeah.
Instead of, paying separately, because it was free last year. We didn't have to pay for it.
So technically, you have your hand
She
up.
pretty much answered my.
Okay. Councilor Harrison, you got your hand up? No. Councilor Cook, you have your hand up?
This is just to be put on the agenda. That's what we're doing right now. If it's on the agenda, maybe we can bring up the topics a little bit clearer and make a motion or discussion or whatever. It would, I don't think it'd be a long discussion, but I'm just asking for it to be on the agenda.
Is this something that is critical to a vote
To
tonight?
me, in my opinion, it's time thing. I don't want to do something in March and then be panicking in June that the budget's not passed. And I just want things to move at least a month earlier if possible.
Is there a reason why you didn't get a hold of the office to put it on the agenda? Because it seems like this is very usual that when you come to a meeting, you're trying to put things on the agenda without asking to have them on the agenda.
First of all, I have to do that 2 weeks in advance of the agenda.
1 week is the Wednesday before the meeting.
Yeah, and we didn't have a Wednesday before this meeting, and
There wasn't a Wednesday before this meeting. This 24th meeting.
the 24th meeting, I'm talking about 26th meeting. But yeah, it wasn't something that I wasn't thinking about at that time. And again, a week in advance,
Councilor Quant Riley.
I think, but it was on the council then last year. We had to work towards really right up to the button, trying to pass it and make it legal and stuff. And I don't think it would hurt actually to try to get ahead on it a little bit. So in case we do run into the problems we did, hopefully not, we'll have time to iron things out. Last year was horrible, as everybody knows.
But you do realize that the court did start on the budget in March.
Yes,
And you do realize that nobody presented a budget to the court, as in fire department, ambulance, or maintenance water master.
I have nothing to do with that. I'm just saying that last year it was a
That
mess.
is our,
That was part of the problem, was
Yeah.
the people that were in place of presenting a budget did not present a budget.
I'm just stating how I feel about it, and I didn't like the way it went last year.
So
We're gonna
are
fight.
you aware of what she's going to discuss? Sure sounds like you are. I mean, that's just
No,
my,
I'm not.
okay. Councilor Riggs,
What can we vote on this?
it's open for discussion. Until discussion is done, it won't go to a vote. Councilor Ferguson,
so if you would like this, let's put it on the agenda for let's go back up, excuse me. You're having a workshop, so is there any reason that we should not be able to discuss it at workshops. So then any of your great ideas, I can look into also and educate myself. And then we all can be on the same page. So next council meeting in February, then we could bring up the topics that we discussed at workshop. And so that we're understanding where everybody's coming from with that. Is that it?
Yeah, to me, it's a month later, but that's fine. I'm
No,
just,
the workshop's next, the workshop is next week.
yeah, next council meeting where we can vote and make
But-
votes on it is next month.
But I can't vote on something I do not have any education on.
Okay, but the motion's been made, it's been seconded, so we do have to take a vote on it.
Roger.
To put it on the agenda.
To put it on the agenda for whatever it is. Bill,
Sorry, I was thinking, as Ken has stated, next week, what is it, Tuesday?
Yep.
Is the work session. I think this is better, this will be better handled then. Instead of tonight.
thank you, Carol. So motion was made, motion was seconded to put,
Well, let me-
oh,
let me-
sorry.
I got a little more to add. Because at this time, you have no budget to discuss.
It's basically budget prep prior to the budget stuff being started.
I don't follow you.
Okay, any further discussion on adding budget prepping to our agenda? Is that a easier way of putting it in a nutshell, is budgeting?
Budgeting prep, yes.
The perfect bank?
That's what I was going to ask, is if you could restate your motion, because I was unclear on that. You want budget preparations?
I would like to discuss, put on the agenda, some ideas, suggestions for budget preparation. And the fact that I think the earlier we get started on some things, the better. I don't want to be in a time squeeze again.
I just have one quick thing. Our financial
Madam
review,
Clerk,
our financial review still isn't done, so I can't even start anything.
We're voting right now.
No, we're not voting right now. Counselor
Discussion,
Reeves.
sir.
We're still in discussion.
I thought you asked Patty to vote. I'm sorry.
She had her hand up.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Our financial review isn't done, so without that, I can't even begin to start something that isn't finished from the year before. So that's why it's really important when we're asking for like a depreciation schedule to be approved, that you do these things so that we can get this done. And nobody has responded to approve or not approve the depreciation schedule. So
So motion was made, motion was seconded to put on the agenda budgeting prep. Any further discussion? So Robert Bank, how would you like to vote, please?
Abstain.
Counselor Quant Riley, how would you like to vote?
Aye.
Counselor Capone,
My question, no question. Is it for this meeting or next?
yes. This meeting.
Name.
Counselor
What
Reeves,
was your answer to that? I'm sorry.
she was, Counselor Cook, it's supposed to be on this meeting.
Yeah. For budget prep, this meeting.
Yes.
Counselor Ferguson,
Ken Ferguson, nay.
Counselor Cook.
Yes,
So we have 3 yeses, 2 nos, and 1 abstain. So it will be put on the agenda.
go under new business at the very end.
So now we have changes to the agenda. Any further changes to the agenda? If no further changes, I would like to move forward with motion to approve the agenda as presented. Councilor Cook.
I got a question on this. If we approve the consent agenda, are we also gonna approve?
Hang on, we're just approving the agenda as presented.
Okay.
So we're first.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the agenda as it is presented.
Counselor Catmull.
I'd like to second that motion.
Motion is made by Counselor Ferguson, seconded by Counselor Catmull to approve the agenda as presented with the addition of open for discussion. Counselor Cook.
Okay, we're just approving the agenda. We're not approving the report for the bills or anything else. Just the agenda, correct? I say clarification. Okay.
But we are approving the agenda as presented. No discussion. Counselor Bernadette, how do you vote, please?
Yay.
Hmm?
Yay.
Counselor Riley,
I abstain.
Counselor Catmull,
Yay.
Counselor Reed,
Abstain.
Counselor Ferguson,
Aye.
Counselor Cook.
Aye.
Motion passed. 4 ayes to abstain to approve the agenda as presented.
Excuse me, I have 3 ayes, 2 abstaining, 1 no.
No, there was Counselor Bernadette, Counselor Catmull, Counselor Ferguson, and Counselor Cook were all yes.
Okay, thank you.
Moving forward to, like a motion to approve or amend reports and bills as presented. Counselor Cook.
Can I don't know if I need to make a motion or not, to look at and possibly approve Amanda reports individually and the bills individually, not as a group.
The reason why I went with this is to speed up our meeting. Because the bills are presented for viewing, the reports are sent out ahead of time for you to read and understand. That's why I moved in this direction, because we are spending so much time, I feel, we're spending so much time in meeting where a lot of this stuff can be done on outside on, I don't mean to say your time, but that's why packets are given out early. That's why bills are open for viewing, is to allow the counselors to read all of this, understand it. So we're reading the floor. So
What page of-
Madam Clerk,
So if you have an issue with a particular item, you would approve the consent agenda except for X report, X bill, X whatever, and then you would discuss that particular thing that you have X out.
7 years, the bills are already on there.
Okay. I'll remember that for the future.
Clerk Cook,
One example is,
we're not in discussion. We haven't even had a motion to go into a discussion.
okay. And I don't know. I need to say something, I don't know how to say it. I want to say it.
Have you found what you're looking for, Councilor Reeves?
No, what page are they on in this book?
No.
It's called
Transaction list by vendor. That's right after all the city stamp stuff.
Councilor Bernadette.
I would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda and reports as reported.
You don't have to put it all in the phone.
Counselor Ferguson.
Second that motion.
Motion made by Counselor Herbert Bennett, seconded by Counselor Ferguson to accept our consent agenda as presented. Open for discussion.
My concern comes in one of the reports, basically the maintenance report. If I think we need to look at his report, and there's a point in there where maybe we need to discuss. I'll put basically maybe commonly discuss the possibility of a camera by the restroom, outside the restroom.
If you've read the agenda, it's on our agenda.
Well, it says for the city, I don't know. I didn't know if that was, that's not for us. Okay.
Oh,
I do have a little something I'd like to add to my report when it's time.
probably right now before they approve it.
Okay. I just want to let you know, we did go back up to 30. After Christmas, up until about a week and a half ago, we went back down to 25.
So where are we at as of your last,
25 gallons a minute.
did we got down to 20 there for a little bit? Didn't we? 22.
22 for a day. But I believe that was because that, we did have a board meeting, a water board meeting, and Dan Dominican was there. And after the meeting, I think the next day he went out and because of the difference in the water, he went out and noticed that they had their water trough boiling over on top of the hill.
That will lessen our inflow. Hey, thank you, Carol.
I had one thing to add to my fire chief report. As far as billing goes for the fire department, I've had quite a bit of trouble getting information as far as when we do go on a call, like an MVA or something like that. I've had trouble getting information such as name and address and basic information for billing, to who to bill. And so I've been talking with Jeremiah, and he said that he thinks that he can help me with that from ongoing from now. So as far as the billing goes, and as far as people who do the billing over in Jefferson County, I don't have authority to give her access to whatever she's asking for. And I sent her an email the other day stating, letting her know that I don't have the authority. It'd have to be, I don't know who to ask for authority to let her have whatever she's needing.
What is she needing?
She doesn't know what she needs. All she does is the billing.
So
So
I was under the impression that I was supposed to have a form that says the name, the address of the person, the driver's license, the pertinent information, what vehicle, what apparatus went, how many people went, and how much time we were there. All right, so that's what I thought, and so that's what I have created as a form for that. But like I said, I've been having trouble getting information from wherever I need to get their information from, because by the time we get there, the patient a lot of times is gone. And
Okay, well, I did have a conversation. The fire chief from Jefferson County did call me and wanted to know what was going on with our fire billing, because Tina didn't know where to go. So contact Jefferson County fire chief. I'm sure he'd like to have a talk with you about that, and
Okay.
he can probably give you a better direction.
yeah, and most of the calls have gone on to, like there was two we went on in one day, or at the same time, basically two different fires alongside the road. I don't know who to bill for those, or they were spot fires that was dispatched out from dispatch, but
But
there's
you have gone to other fires that were billable.
I don't which one?
6-shooter.
6 year. All right, I agree with that one.
And you neglected to create a bill. That's one that I know of, and
Well, that's probably the only one.
there may, well, the MBAs, things like that, just, we got this set. We got the billing set up for a reason,
Oh, I know.
so not to utilize something that's been set up is
I know.
not utilizing
Well,
what
we need to
we're
have the
being
income.
given.
We need to have the income for the city anyway, for the fire department anyway.
So where are we at? Oh, we're at discussion to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Counselor Cook,
Can I ask about some of the bills at this point?
I believe you can.
Okay. Going to City Metro Pass to answer this by vendor page.
I'm sorry.
Can you slow down, please?
Okay.
Because even on the recordings,
I talk fast, I know. On the City of Mitchell transaction list by vendor. And if you don't have an answer, I'm fine, kind of. Like the fast break checks, it's travel. Can we ask what the travel was to, or was it just going to and from banking? What, you know,
So those invoices are available for viewing and those were for gas.
it's for training.
green fast break,
No, the fast break itself was going to pick up. You picked up the stoves and that, and then there was another, the invoices are there. See, that's why it's easier if you come to the office.
I banged up the door at 3:30.
Okay, now, and to add on to that, the office is open 18 hours a week to the public. If you need something after hours, you can always call or go around, knock on the window if you know the clerk is there. Being in the office and the door closed, you can't hear anybody banging on the door. So it'd just be nice if you know it's after 3 o'clock, give her a call, no answer. I mean, to me, that'd be the best way of handling it. Or if you know she's there and you're, just out doing errands or something, go around, knock on the window.
Uline professionals, is that supposed to be professional services? Page 2, halfway down,
Yeah,
okay. What type of professional services?
again, you would have to probably look at the invoice, but I'm pretty sure it's stuff that Terrell ordered for.
Yeah, that would be like hand towels or
Paper towel.
Paper towels.
Okay.
We bought the risers through them. No, that was Valor.
I'm fine with paper products and stuff. I just have professional service versus maintenance, I don't know. And the check to Steve, I'm sure that's community center, what was that for?
Which one?
$75 check?
Reimbursement for picking up the quotes being cleaned. There is an invoice at the office with a receipt. I had to pay cash. Councilor Ferguson.
Okay, this is getting ridiculous. I take my time and I make time to go to the city office and to go over this stuff. We all have time. If this is not in our agenda for our lives to be able to deal with this, then we need to make other arrangements. But I'm not going to sit here and go through line by line when I took my time to go up there and ask any questions I had. And so to do this right now, I think is absolutely ridiculous.
I believe there was two other councilors went up and did view the bills.
So I went up there and there was 2 counselors there and I kind of backed off.
Okay.
I sent an email saying that. And then I went to try to go back up at 3:30. I couldn't get in, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, to remedy that situation now, if
I will
it's,
remedy it. I'll hang in the window.
Thank you.
Give me a call. Say, hey, I'm coming up at this time.
That's how I do it. I literally call and I say, would this day be good for you? 10:30 on Tuesday, whatever it is. I literally make arrangements.
any further discussion? No further discussion, Councilor Berber-Bank. Do you have a question?
no.
How would you like to vote, Councilor Berber-Bank?
Yay.
Councilor Quantland,
It's been so long. What is it?
approve the consent agenda, which is the bills and reports.
Yay.
Councilor Catmull. Councilor Reeves.
Abstain.
Councilor Ferguson.
Ferguson, I.
Councilor Cook.
Kevin, Cook and I,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your vote. Yes.
Consent agenda has passed 5 yeses and 1 abstain. Anthony, you were abstaining?
Abstain.
Okay, thank you. I wasn't sure if it was abstaining or not. Clarity purposes. Okay, we are at approval of last meetings minutes, which are the October 18th and December 20 meeting minutes.
And January 20 water board minutes.
Are they in the packet?
That would, you added that to the new short packet, right?
Oh, that was, yeah.
January 20.
The big packet?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, okay.
I'll pop it back.
Councilor Berber Bank.
I'd like to make the motion to approve October 18th, 2022, December 20th, 2022, January 24th, 2022, and January 20th, 2023, which was the water board.
Councilor Ferguson.
Second that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Councilor Berber Bandit, seconded by Councilor Ferguson to approve minutes as presented.
Can I ask a question? Why
It's
would,
open for discussion.
why would you approve minutes from a year ago? January 24th, 2022. What it says here. I think there's an error. That's right.
Typo.
Typo. Easily corrected. Thank you, Glenn.
It does have the correct date on the minutes.
Carol.
I just have a suggestion, instead of saying yay or nay, back here, we can't tell which one it is.
How about putting on yes or no? That way the audience.
Or I, or no, or
Yeah.
So we have a motion and second to approve the minutes. Any further discussion?
Isn't that the one where I just reported not showing up
For which one?
the last one?
24th.
Yeah, the 24.
January 24th,
Uh-huh,
2 days ago.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
I actually was kind of shocked about this because that last Tuesday, because I've been at home in bed. I've been bedridden for over a month.
Okay.
And I had the Tuesdays before that. I called your number and left the message saying, I didn't think I would be here. I don't know if you took it right or whatever, because as bad as I was feeling, I was fighting a lot of stuff on.
So you're saying you called me on January
Yes, I
17th,
left a message
on January 17th.
the Tuesday before that. Yeah.
Okay, well. I know you have sent me text
Yeah.
messages in the past. Future, it's nice if you contact the office also.
Well, I'm trying not to miss any.
So we're on minutes though, right? Not attendance.
Yeah, but that's on
Yes.
it.
We're not voting on the attendance.
But you
Okay.
still weren't here.
You still weren't here.
I know, and I want to tell you why. You know, I couldn't. And I tried the Tuesday before, I tried to tell you, but I was out of my mind, so I don't know what to say. Yeah,
Okay.
otherwise I'd have been here.
Councilor Reeves, you had your hand up? Nope. Okay, any further discussion? Councilor Berber Bank, how would you vote, please?
Yes,
Councilor Conrad,
And this is not involving me missing missing
that
the,
would fall under.
oh, well, yes, indeed it would. Yes,
Councilor Reeves,
Anthony Reeves, yes.
First night, yes.
Councilor Cook.
Yes.
Motion was passed unanimously to approve last meeting's minutes. Oh, moving forward, we're at old business. The council needs to make a decision on what to do with the Black Suburban, which is expedition that it was given to the fire department 8 months ago. Nothing's been done with it. Nothing has been presented. Fine.
We've discussed it over, I mean, I've been trying to get data, or not data, but paperwork from the county for months. And so after the last time we had a discussion about it with the points that Counselor Ferguson made, I think they can have it back. I mean, they're not able to come with title or paperwork or whatever.
Okay.
And I don't think we need to pay insurance for something that we're not gonna be able to get paperwork on. I mean, I've tried several times talking to Mitch and talking to Jeremiah and talking to whoever they tell me to talk to.
Okay.
So that'd be my recommendation, just let it go, either let it go back, or if you want to accept it, put it up for auction, make some money for the city.
Councilor
I don't
Verba,
know what else to do with
without
it.
paperwork, we can't really do anything
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, I know.
Have you talked with, Mike,
Mike Smith, no, I haven't yet, but I've talked to the person who donated it to us, the emergency manager, who's the person that's in charge of all that. I went over and took all the striking off of it, all the sheriff's logo stuff off of it.
because isn't Mike, I mean, just.
Mike Smith is the sheriff, but he's not the one that was in charge of donating the vehicles to the different departments in the county.
Correct. He's very good at paperwork and making
Yeah.
sure that reports and all that kind of stuff get done and taken care of, so.
And,
He,
and at this point, it's kind of a moot point. I mean, we're not gonna, but if we want to go to a meeting, we'll just either take a fire truck or our personal rig.
And it's a ex-police vehicle, so people in the backseat cannot get out. It's-
Well, they can't, you just have to take the locks off the door panels. There's still door handles.
Right, but as it sits right
Yeah.
now, it's not functional.
In 15 minutes, I could have all that stuff off there. That's beside the point.
Councilor
We don't
Ferguson,
have a need
I'd
for
like
it.
to make a motion that we send that rig right back to where
Yeah.
it came from.
Councilor Cook,
Second,
Councilor Ferguson made a motion to send the black expedition back to the county, seconded by Councilor Cook. Any further discussion? Councilor Reed,
Run? Is it runnable?
Yeah.
go ahead.
Does it work?
Yeah, runs great, drives great, but the thing is, without any paperwork, we don't have no use for it.
Even donating to the school, let them work on it?
No, that's so bad. We don't have, like he just mentioned, we don't have any paperwork. We can't let it go to somebody else.
The school has an auto shop either. The only thing that would be good is for extrication.
Yeah, but
Once you practice extrication on it, get rid of it.
yeah,
If the county says,
yeah, I'll talk to,
if the county says, no, we're not gonna take it back, then that would be a great
yeah,
tool for an extrication clause.
yeah, I'll talk to them, let them know what the council decided. They didn't want to accept
Can't wait
it.
for
So,
them to decide
Where
first.
did it come from?
I know,
Where did it come from?
came from Cook County. It was the undersheriff's vehicle when it was retired to.
Didn't it come via Wheeler County though? Or was
Huh?
it directly from Kirk
No, it
County?
came via Wheeler County.
Any further discussion? Councilor Verba Bennett, how do you vote, please?
Yes.
Councilor Clark Riley,
Yes.
Councilor Catmull,
Yes.
Councilor Reed,
Mr. Reed, yes.
Councilor Ferguson,
Yes,
Councilor Cook.
Yes.
Council has voted unanimously to send the black expedition back. If,
I will get hold of them tomorrow.
and for some reason, if they say, well, we don't want it, then we will take it off the insurance because they.
Yeah, so
and-
do that.
It's not on insurance.
Oh, it's not even on the insurance. So again, that would be a great, if they say, well, they don't have use, then we may just keep it for education. Carol.
Can we get together a jalopy race?
Only if I get to drive it. no.
You can ride in the back seat, Carol.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'd have time. All right.
I was gonna make a suggestion that it be used for like, sledgehammering,
That's right. That's what I
dollar
said,
shot or something like that.
extrication
Yeah,
class.
here you
Yeah.
go.
teaching people how to get vehicles out of vehicles.
All right. So our second item on the old business is I would like the council to reconsider the flooring quote for finishing this community hall. I cannot do it. I don't have the time. I just cannot do it. Me and Carol did work some more. Not since our last council meeting, but I'm done. I physically cannot do it, and time-wise, I am out of time. Perfect.
Is Is the amount still the same? Are they gonna honor
The
that?
amount will, it will not exceed that amount. The 3312, I believe was the quote. And with that quote, what they are doing is they're trimming everything out. They're sealing it.
The leveling it?
Well, yeah, and they have to do some work out where the ramp goes up. They're gonna level it, feather it out to where it's still wheelchair accessible.
I make a motion that we reconsider having the floor done.
Sorry, the quote is for $3,622.01.
My assumption is being that we with this, it would not exceed, it should be less than,
Should I put that, resend that and put that in my motion, the dollar amount, is what you say?
not to exceed $8 amount. would be-
Okay. Let me resend the other one, make a motion to reconsider the flooring quote, not to exceed $3,622.01 for the community hall.
Thank you. I don't know who was up next. Councilor Ferguson.
I second that motion.
Councilor Cook made the motion. Councilor Ferguson seconded it to go with the flooring quote from Third Street Flooring. Open for discussion. Councilor Reeves.
What company?
Third Street
Electric
Flooring.
flooring in Prineville,
Kathy, Councilor Cook,
sorry,
thank you. Third Street Flooring in Prineville.
And was that the only one that was asked to give an estimate?
Yes.
Do we, I don't know anything about the cost. Did the estimate cost anything?
They were actually in the area going to another job.
It wouldn't be prudent to get a couple of,
We can do that. It's just, in Mitchell, we have a hard time bringing somebody from Band to Redmond to come out and do anything. Even gutters, I've contacted so many people to get gutters done. Our wall is failing up top. We just can't. Our jobs are so small that it's not worth the time for travel from Bend to Redmond, or they charge you so much for travel. You're gonna be spending twice as much, so. The gentleman at Third Street Flooring that I did speak to, he's aware, he's out in this area all the time. He knows how delicate our financial status is, so. With that, but like I said, it'll all be trimmed out, everything will be done.
they still have the rest of the sported, okay.
They're gonna finish in here, finish out there, trim everything all everywhere. And in that bid, it's completed. There's no add-ons for materials or anything. That's their completed bid for travel, and everything. Councilor Cook.
just want to make the comment, that is a very good price, by the way, Anthony. I know somebody in the business.
Were we on vote yet? I'm sorry.
Well, we were still in.
Okay, any further discussion? Councilor Burbank, how would you vote, please?
Yes.
Councilor Montreal,
Yes.
Councilor Catmull,
Yes.
Councilor Reeves,
Yes.
Councilor Ferguson,
Yes,
Councilor Cook.
Yes,
Thank you, council. I will contact them tomorrow. I will send out an email just advising the council of when they will be out. Carol, I'll advise you also.
Please, sir, tell me.
Thank you, council. It's greatly appreciated. Clarification of fundraising on behalf of the city. Madam Clerk, do you have insight on that?
Well, actually, it kind of goes in tandem with the county under new business, Wheeler County training charges for Christmas decorations of $31.09. So the fundraising, so some stuff was,
Carol,
I think I
Oh.
answered this question.
okay, hang on. Go ahead, Clark.
so $31 was charged for Christmas decorations. There's no funding for Christmas decorations. So I wanted to make sure that when I did decorating, it had to come out of a fund that I did for fundraising or out of my own pocket. So what I didn't feel comfortable paying that bill until the council decided that they are paying it or to have the fundraiser.
So,
It wasn't for Christmas decorations. It was for, clamps and stuff to repair the deer. The clamps that held the deers up on the rebar.
Yeah,
It was
Christmas
just,
decorations.
well, it was, yeah, I wasn't buying Christmas decorations.
know,
it was
that's not
just
what I said.
repairing.
That's what I know, but I.
so the items were used for repairing of the Christmas decoration.
Right.
So I guess the question is the fundraising you guys do is for Joanna's personal, your guys' personal, it's not city
No,
sponsor.
it's personal. It's to the
Okay.
Brainbusters, and yeah, and the money for that is for the city's stuff.
But there is no budget for Christmas decorations. There is no funding.
Councilor Cook,
If I can, as a citizen, not as a counselor per se, I will pay Wheeler County $31 and that'll be gone. It won't be an issue. I'll pay that bill to Wheeler County Grading personally as a donation to them for that. That way it'll be gone and it won't be a problem. Is that okay? Can I do that?
right, but I think what is in question also is if items are purchased for,
That's very nice of you.
yes, it is. For in the future, we need to be conscientious of things that are bought under where it falls. Now, it all comes down to budgeting, how you budget, where money goes, things like that. Carol?
Well, I don't understand why it just can't be under maintenance.
Maintenance, that's what I was gonna
I
say.
mean.
Just put it.
Because on the
it was
tag,
for- it
on
was
the
for
tag,
park.
on the tag is what,
On the
I
tag
I
from-
just put on there, like I do with everything, where it's going. Like the community hall here, the bathroom, the restroom, down there at the park, up at the EMS. I just put a note on there to what it was actually.
on the receipt, didn't say Christmas
It,
Day.
it
Okay,
does.
so it was misleading. So we just need to be conscientious when,
It's
when,
not
the-
misleading, it was for decoration.
okay, so as things are presented, we need to be aware of how it's gonna be paid. Because without any Christmas decorations funding, you really can't.
I'm sorry, where's all the Christmas decorations that have been purchased up there come from?
The
A lot of
fundraising.
them, yeah, a lot of, I donated
She
$100 2
donated
years
a
ago.
lot of stuff, but I fundraised out of my own pocket to buy those things.
Well,
Excuse me.
It's, we don't need that, please.
It's-
Exactly. We don't need that.
No, we don't need your comments of. basically
Please,
uttering.
please start acting like adults instead of third graders.
Nancy,
I think my opinion is that it's just, it should go to maintenance and the only thing I see that's wrong is that it should have said for Christmas decoration repair. And then it could go under maintenance. So it just seems to me it's a simple misuse of terms. of language.
Glenn,
So we have all these decorations that the city owns. How do we pay to repair them? If we don't just, if there's no way of.
fundraising. There was already stated funding, donations, fundraising.
I thought the fundraising was to buy new ornaments and decorations. and
When you
stuff
only
like that.
fundraise $20, you really can't buy a whole lot.
Wow. Depends on what time of year you go.
I don't know whose hand was up first. Councilor Conrad,
Next year, we will not be going through this because it's already decided we're raising money to go ahead and all the decorations that would be put up in town will be fundraising through Fringe Busters. And so we don't have to go through this anymore.
so Cook,
And I know we discussed this at a previous meeting. Some of the decorations were not donated to the city as a unit, but as to the citizens of the city. You know, some of the stuff was donated not for the city, but for the citizens of the city. Not to the city, but for the city.
How-
And the city went stored it.
hang on. How was that done? How can you donate something to the citizens, but yet it's stored within the city?
Well, the decorations originally, the Woodward especially were created to decorate the city.
Mhm.
And they're for the city, but they're not owned by the city.
Yes, they are. We had that discussion.
Okay.
Those were donated by Carol Sweet and
To the city.
to the city.
Okay.
What you donated, I do believe you donated to the city,
For city decorations, yeah.
to the city. So in the future, whatever is not donated to the city for Christmas decorations will not be stored at the city. Like, I believe you have your own area where
Yes,
you are
we do.
storing your
Yep.
stuff, which is,
Yes,
that's perfect. Councilor Reeves,
I hope it doesn't become a battle between the city and the citizens. You know, because I guess fiscally you can't combine the two, but are you gonna continue the fundraising for Christmas? And
yes, we are currently doing that and setting up more things to do.
And does the city still have decorations they're gonna put out at Christmas time?
Terry took over decorating committee. You have to address that to her.
That was brought up because I put in here and said we tried to get in and get the decorations, and I called you up and stuff because we wanted to repair things. We was willing to paint, repair things to
Okay,
put up. Let me finish, please. And
actually,
That's what that was.
we're off point.
Hmm?
We're off point. We're getting into a whole different realm of where we started for clarification of fundraising. We can discuss, we have time to discuss who's gonna do what for putting up decorations. We just need clarification on where things are, whose there are. That way we aren't running
Right.
into,
right, and we have
Ongoing.
clarification.
because I'm not sure if you're fundraising for 4th of July, for Easter, for anything else, so whatever you
Right.
guys do as a Mitchell Sentinel, I
Right,
guess,
right.
will be kept separate. Whatever the city does on behalf of the city will be city.
Good.
Councilor Cook?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if this needs to be discussed further, I think we need to put it in the work session next week.
It will not be on our work session for next week. We already have a full
Okay.
month's worth of work sessions. Penciled out.
So you're paying the bill?
I will pay the bill. I will go and pay it tomorrow.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Open public comment. Do we have any open public comment? We do not have any open public comment.
Check the Zoom.
Huh?
Check Zoom.
I don't see anybody with any comments. Moving forward, correspondence, fossil fuel listing equipment bid for sale. I do believe it was in,
I forgot why I saw it. I thought something.
it came in the mail, I do believe.
It came in the mail and it came in a packet, and I was just letting people know that that equipment was.
That fossil fuel or was that Columbia Power?
Oh, Columbia Power.
Yeah.
It was Columbia Power. That's why it came in the power bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just letting you know that, and then, Representative Smith sent everybody the. a link. January 30th, 1 p.m. is the meet and greet for our district. And where's that at? It's on Zoom. If you need any help with that, let me know, but it is really just a click and it should take you to a new screen. And as long as you're there at that time, it should just pop right open. And you can, I don't know if you have the app on your phone, the Zoom app, and it should do the same thing, but you can also look at it in your browser too. So you should just be able to click the link, but
I'll have you help you.
Councilor Cook.
Do we have another time to do this? Otherwise, January 30th at 1 p.m. I'll still be involved in the funeral luncheon at that time.
no, it's he's setting the meeting.
It's a live.
It's not us.
They may record it And that's something that we would have to look into after. but
Yeah,
It
And I'll
is a
be on
live,
next funeral services.
it is a live Zoom feed, so a lot of times they are recorded, so.
Okay.
Okay, so we're at grant opportunities and updates. Do we need to discuss any of the grants that are available for?
If anybody would like to.
Actually, I had a question to Glenn.
Councilor Burbank.
For the firefighters one.
Mhm.
It said, I read through that a little bit. It said that there's all kinds of monies for training and things like
Hmm.
that. Have you applied for that?
I haven't,
It's
I
got a
have
real
not applied for, I have looked into it. The training that we do, we already get done for free, so.
They also said that there was equipment and it would help out with all kinds of things like that. So, you
Yeah.
know, with our firefighters, you know,
mm,
getting the tail end of stuff, normally maybe getting some a new jacket or something would be kind of cool. And then I thought that there was also something in there that had something to do with helping you be able to get more firefighters.
Well, they have some in there, they have something in there about funding, two paid fire positions. But, I mean, there's three of us that's on the fire department and we're volunteers, so I don't feel right about accepting money for something I volunteer for myself, but.
But isn't there something in there also that you'd be able to have a roundup, so to say, to get more people into the fire department? Or
I didn't read anything about that part of it, but maybe there is.
okay.
But I read as far as I read is where it was talking about paying two full-time for the summertime. It's only a certain amount of hours for the summertime.
That might be something.
But they wouldn't pay for in the summertime, they wouldn't pay for people who are already here on the department to get new people to help. Because we only have 3 firefighters, I mean, to get 5 firefighters or 6 firefighters. That's what it was based for. We do have the one in the springtime. You know what I'm talking about, Steve? The one we have usually in the springtime, the grant that the government gives out. But that one there, you have to, you're qualified by how many firefighters you have with that one. So we don't have enough training hours to make it worthwhile applying for. So
I tell you what you're asking is if there is any grants available.
yeah, I look at all the grants that are available, and if they apply to us, then I'll be glad to apply for them.
So if you had more.
Councilor Ferguson.
So if you had more training hours.
No,
you qualify.
No, if we had more firefighters to get the hours, because you only have our meetings are like most of them are like 2.5 hours twice a month. So between 3 people. So that you figure that out, that's 6 hours twice a month. So that's 12 hours a month times 12. That's how many hours you get. And so they give you a certain amount of money per hour for training. And usually we don't qualify for more than $300 or $400. And it's not really worth filling out all the paperwork to get $300 or $400 for what they're wanting to give you for it. It would make it worth more while if we had 10 firefighters and or $500 or $1,000. Used to be we could apply for $10,000 and we would get it no matter how many firefighters you have. It changed it.
Any other questions about grants from the council? And as you all know, grants are forwarded to your voter clerk as they come in. That's why we get so out. Facade grant by community development. We haven't had anybody apply as a. Have not had no applicants for the facade grant. I don't know if we want to put a window, closing window on that or just leave it open.
I did bring a couple of applications with me
But no, nobody's applied.
Councilor Purvis.
Yes, and thank you very much. You did give me paperwork on that, and I do have somebody that does want to apply for it. They just had some questions on the painting that they want to do. If there's a special stylized type painting that they need to do. Okay.
No, it really is just like a beautification or,
This is a
curb
airbrush
appeal.
artist.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and he's gonna do the work himself. He just wanted to make sure that, if the city had a specific type of stylized that they want, whether they wanted to go with a Western theme or whatever. And if they had any, if the city had any kind of paint color choices or anything like that. I mean, it's gonna be a mural, but he just wanted to make for sure that, okay, great. I will make sure to brought that up to him.
Oh.
Trying to get rid of that.
It's done.
You trip the breaker? You
It's blue. It just lit up.
Did it?
Yeah.
Get away from there.
Bugs zapper.
Supposed to do it out.
It's coming the 31st to replace them, so.
Okay, so we're at the CIS risk management for security cameras. What that is CIS is offering grant money for security cameras. And being that we are one of the smaller cities, we are available for $149.16, I believe.
It goes based off your premium.
It goes, yeah, Alpha Premium, since we're so small. I have, if you read Charles' report, there was a incident at the bathroom that could have been a lot worse. And the idea for what CIS is, their idea is to give the money to offset some insurance costs. Their idea is not to watch traffic, things like that. It's more sensitive places where money is involved. Because right now we have no security of anything on any of our money drops. Yes, we're a small town. Yes, we've not had any issues yet, but I think Terrell has actually had people try to get into, and maybe even Ron,
Several times.
so
Into the,
into
where
the-
they put the lock, the donation
Yeah.
box up on the
so
bathrooms,
So in the new business, I have located cameras that they are Wi-Fi capable. If we ever get Wi-Fi at the park, then you have a live feed. Otherwise, they are a
SD card.
SD card, which holds up to, I think it comes in 312 or whatever gig. The lights that I looked at are motion sensors. They only record when motion is activated.
Mine at my house, whatever.
They are night vision, they're color. So we will get into that under new business, which we're into. I'm sorry, Councilor Verboen.
Pardon me, sir. I just need to back up for just one second on the FEMA update.
Hmm.
We're gonna go ahead and discuss that.
And our work session.
Our work
Yep.
session, yay. Everybody bring lighters. Put flame under these.
We need a-
I would like to add though, that
Madam Clerk,
I sent an email back today on the quarterly reporting for FEMA and said, I have a hard time, I said politely, I have a hard time doing your report when I'm still waiting for money since April of last year. So you want me to do my report? Send me my money.
I've reached out to the same gentleman last week, and I've not got a response.
Anyways,
I did get a response from Doug about the water survey. I need to get a hold of him and discuss it. He says he needs more money or something.
Actually.
Don't we all?
What fuck, Shay, ain't done nothing.
I will talk to him tomorrow about that. So we are at Painted Hills Festival. Attorney fees be payable from which fund? That was the question of,
Electrical.
no, it was
The attorney fees.
The
for
Page Hill
the-
Festival, that you guys paid the $250 to tell the Page Hills Festival that they needed to give food handlers cards.
So I believe what the clerk is asking for is to which fund.
Do you want that to come out of?
I think it needs to come out of tourism. Get it?
I don't think we can pay tourism, attorney fees out of tourism for,
But it does,
All the
It's bringing that over the radius.
it's a local group though. I don't know.
I mean, our
We're
community,
miles away.
community development fund has more funding in it.
Sorry. I mean, we do have attorney's fees in tourism if you guys want to, I mean.
I think it's part of tourism. That's just my opinion.
So would you like to put that into a motion, Councilor Cook?
I make a motion that the PHF attorney fees be payable out of the tourism fund.
Thank you. Ooh, tie goes to Councilor Quant Riley.
I second that.
Motion made by Councilor Cook, seconded by Quant Riley to have the Penny Hills attorney fees come out of the tourism fund. Open for discussion, Councilor Reed.
How much was it
$250?
a year?
No, it's
This is
for
not in this incident.
clarification of their food handlers card
Requirements.
requirements.
All right, so this is $250. This is a one-time deal. I
Yes.
don't want to keep this dot, you know, where they can grab piggy bank anytime they want to. One-time shot, right?
For that. Any further discussion? Councilor Verban, could you like to start us off with a vote, please?
Yes.
Councilor Quant Riley,
Yes.
Councilor Catmull,
Yes.
Councilor Reed,
Yes.
Councilor Ferguson,
Yes,
Councilor Cook.
Yes.
Okay. Penny Hills Festival fees will come out of tourism. Thank you, council. Councilor attorney fees payable from which fund?
Don't we have a fund that is undetermined or some title like that? No, one of these funds, it says undetermined. I'm trying to find it. Saw it earlier, but
Isn't there a professional fund?
Well, basically, are you doing general water, community development?
I'm trying to think of, I don't remember what it was.
Well, how have they been getting your thousands of dollars before?
We hadn't allocated this much money.
You had what?
We hadn't allocated for this much money.
There's been
How much you been spent?
a large amount
Yeah.
of attorney fees spent.
How much?
It's in your packet. It's over $3,000.
Look at me, look at your packet. $1,000?
Somewhere in that neighborhood. Councilor Ferguson.
just make it clear, these are from council members and stuff recording and procuring these.
Yes, this is outside of what the clerk would need to contact the attorney for clarification on city business.
How do you separate council needs from the needs of administration? Isn't it all into one?
When we budgeted money for attorney fees, it's for professional services, which the city does have professional services that need to be allocated and budgeted for.
I understand that.
We are over budget, I do believe, on our attorney fees.
For the year, is that,
For the year, we're not even done with our budgeting year. So we're not to the point where we need to amend the budget. but we're over budget.
I think somebody can keep an eye on that.
Well, that's part of what the council's job is
I
to,
haven't been talking to no attorney.
I'm not
I've read you
asking,
guys, but
I'm not, hang on,
no, man, where's
Council Reeves.
thousands and thousands of dollars going?
there is, you can go to the office and you can see the bills that the city attorney has
I want to
generated.
see who's calling the attorney all the time, who's contacting the attorney. That, I think that's important for the council to see. We've never seen that. Just a bill for
So let's
thousands of
raise
dollars.
our hands right now.
Who's
contacted
contacted
attorney?
the attorney?
Pardon me?
If you, are you asking out of the council who's contacted the city attorney without asking the city to contact the attorneys? You're basically trying to,
No, I'm not asking you.
Alienate
I'm telling you,
people?
I haven't talked to
Okay.
any attorney.
okay,
I don't know about anybody else except the administration.
I have not.
hang on. Councilor Quant Riley,
Oh, I just said that I did. Yeah, no, and I have no.
Glenn,
Isn't the city council part of the administration? Considered part of the
Not.
administration?
what, the bills that have been created, individual councilors have contacted the attorney.
Why wasn't one of these?
So what? So
The way,
what?
the way,
It's part
the
of council.
Councilor Reeves, if you would like to state something, can you please raise your hand and you will be called?
This is
Councilor Reeves,
ridiculous.
thank you.
Council,
If you would like to screen the individual councilors and ask them if they contacted them,
I
or,
didn't say that. I
or
want to see an itemized statement about all the contact that's been made
it is up
from the
at
administration to the attorney.
the city hall.
Then email it to me, please. I'm disabled, and if you want to fight that, oh, boy.
Councilor Reeves,
I think we need to do something right now. This is ridiculous, Councilor Reeves.
Councilor Ferguson. Councilor Kirk, you have a question?
There is, I can't find it right now. There is in one of these statements, there is something that says undetermined or something like that. In one
For
of these,
under the funding?
underneath, yes, underneath funding, property last, I can't remember where it is.
Undetermined services?
Yes, something like that. Yeah, something weird.
Shouldn't have undetermined anything.
Well, I found one of these before, but I was doing it on my computer.
So when water bills come in, when I enter a payment, it goes into basically an unappropriated
Okay,
section, not deposited. But there is, everything is in a fund.
You did right.
I can't bend over her back issue right now.
Councilor Cook,
Okay, on a really tiny printed profit and loss thing, near the end, it says unclassified. What is that?
So that's what that is. When you get water payments, it goes into an unclassified. And so that, I just went through and cleared all of those out. That go, they go into a fund because the way it's set up, it goes into like a holding spot until it's deposited, basically. Don't want that. You don't want anything in that section. So your general, your water, your fire, your ambulance, your community development, those are all the funds. But then what we allocated under contracted services, 1603, you can see is at 445% of our budget.
Glenn,
Just a question. So over the years, there has never been a fund that paid for attorney fees for the council?
Yes, but we're at 445%.
we're over budget. We're past our,
I see.
what we budgeted for. Councilor Ferguson.
And normally I believe that it's brought to council, like there's a discussion or something that's happening, so there's awareness or something. I don't
Well,
know.
it
It's
should-
just always-
I would think it'd be that way all the way around, but
Right. Just out of everybody's whim, whenever they felt like or whatnot. Then now this is accumulated.
What,
And so now Captain.
without a, without adopting a decorum of council or Robert's rules or anything, we don't have any rules. Normally, when you have a council decorum, it states council can only contact attorneys one time a month, one time a week. Normally, the way attorneys are contacted is a counselor will direct something to the clerk. The clerk will do her best, their best to appease the situation without reaching out to the attorney. Unless they cannot find a different avenue. I have an Oregon Mayors Association listserv that I can ask questions on all day long and get answers for free. Well, it's a yearly fee. The clerk has a listserv for the clerks. They encourage you to use that prior to going to your city attorney. I have reached out. I know the clerk has reached out. You dropped something on your city council. I wish there was one for counselors. Unfortunately, there is not a listserv for counselors. Counselor Burbidge.
That's what LOC is for.
LOC is for, but they,
Can't do anything legal.
they at the end of every conversation, they say, we can't be legal about it. We all know that. We all know that. But moving forward, we're above budget. We're over budget on our attorney fees. We still have 6 months left in our budgeting year. Madam Clerk,
Should we table this or move it to the work session? Because clearly people need to maybe do some homework.
council's discretion. They would like to table it for the work session or Counselor Cook.
I would like to make it, a motion this to a work session so we can figure out what account we can and cannot take it out of.
Second that.
Counselor Reeves, thank you. Motion made by Counselor Cook, second by Counselor Reeves. Any further discussion? No discussion. Counselor Burbidge, how would you like to vote?
Yes.
Counselor Riley,
Yes.
Counselor Catmull,
Yes.
Counselor Reeves.
Yes.
Counselor Ferguson.
Yes.
Counselor Cook.
Yes.
Motion is made to table attorney fees from which fund? Thank you, council.
Excuse me, that
Yep.
was to move it to work session.
Move it to a work session, I do believe.
Yes.
Will we be able, question, will we be able to do that next week, Tuesday? Will we be able to?
I think there shouldn't be that long of a discussion on which fund. to pull. That, as well, no, we cannot vote on it. No. Or February meeting.
Correct.
Onwards to purchase of a new monitor heater for EMS building.
Yeah, I'm going to the monitor heating. Is the one that is in there currently working but not working well, or is it totally dead?
The one that is in there is a loaner from fossil fuel. The one that was in there, they came over, they worked on, I think a part was broken. He said he has a loaner that he can bring over, which is the one that's in there now. Fossil fuel, their recommendation is to get a new one because that one is approximately 30 years old.
The loaner is ours.
It's the one that was in there.
The one we have now is about 20 years old. It's a loaner.
Exactly the same.
I do believe the quoted price was around $2,500 for the new stove,
2,700.
2,700. With it had things wear out after time. We all know that. Just look at me.
They have, those guys have their hand open.
Counselor,
I was gonna ask Glenn, does this need to be done immediately? Can we wait a little bit time? Can we
Counselor
do this?
Cook, it doesn't involve the fire department. It's city property.
I think the EMS people need to be involved. I don't know. It's their vehicles.
Yeah. It's not a fire department owned item. It's
I
a
don't
city.
think, I
owned.
think
But
EMS.
yes, the reason why the heater is in there is to keep it warm so things don't freeze. Counselor Reeves,
Is this, what kind of heater is it?
it's
Is it
a,
like a wired in?
it's a monitor stove that runs on
Toyo.
Diesel.
diesel, and they are changing their formula.
It's not monitored anymore. It's Toyo like. you just said.
Right, but they're changing their formula from diesel to a,
Non-sulfur to be less sooty so that the buildup hopefully is less.
Right.
This is the only fuel that they had access to.
and the guy from fossil fuel said that our old stove was emitting carbon monoxide.
Is it stationary?
Yes. It's,
Is it where's it gonna be placed?
it will replace the existing one
I mean, where's it in the building? Where
in
is?
the EMS bay.
Behind the
How
fire
do you
truck.
get your heat?
Electric.
Are we able to get heat from that?
Yes,
Right, so the, whatever comes out in the bay gets sucked into,
Okay.
but the monitor stove heats the bay, so the water in the fire trucks don't freeze.
Yeah, okay.
but then, sorry, also, if we keep that warm enough, we're not running the electric so much that we're jacking that up too.
So it's like you're paying for one and Nancy,
Is it that?
Nancy,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nancy.
When we moved into the house at the edge of town, we had a monitor. We didn't want a monitor. It's relatively new, maybe 2 years old. If you'd like, I can inquire with the landlord if they would donate it to the city, if you want to look at it.
It's a nice one. I've seen it.
Yes, it's very nice. It's, like I said, it's
Very
not
nice.
very old, but we went to wood. So we're really sitting up there.
that would,
I will ask the landlord if you would
that
like.
would be great.
Okay.
Or,
You can look at
Or-
it. It's just, I'm throwing it out there.
or maybe it's something that the city can purchase at a price possibly.
Well, if
have
you
a-
did, it would be less than 2,000, I'm sure.
For-
20.
If the council would entertain a motion not to exceed a certain amount, provided we try this avenue first, and if that doesn't work, then we could go to our next option, so we're not waiting until the next meeting to. something.
Councilor Ferguson,
Just a question on that though, if we're buying used things or something from somewhere and whatnot, does that affect our the insurance in any way? Is there like, because to me, you know, I don't know, it's like, because there is insurance issues, like, sure.
well, you buy something new, it usually comes with a warranty, which
That's what I was gonna say.
And so,
Well, it would, I would ask for it to be donated, so there would be no cost to the city. But I'm just throwing it out there.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we go through the possible process of purchasing a monitor for toilet heater for the eBay, for the phase, for the
EMS.
EMS building with a limit of $2,800. With cap under $2,800, just in case if they have to do some kind of extra fittings with it or have to put on a specialized.
or if inflation has happened since we got.
Yes.
Okay, so Councilor Berback has made a motion to not to exceed $2,800 on a monitor heater for EMS building. Councilor Clint Riley.
I second that.
Councilor Berback has made the motion. Councilor Clint Riley has seconded. Councilor Reed.
Is the new unit to be purchased through fossil fuel oil?
And installed.
And I believe
I'd
What-
ask for a break.
what,
Yeah, I mean, 10%, I mean, come on.
what, it doesn't hurt to ask, kind of, worst thing they can say is no. Trust me, I hear that all the time. I think with Terrell's input, the fuel line does need to be rerouted because it's suspended from the tank to the wall.
It freezes sometimes.
And the snow can come right out there and break the line. So I will talk to, when they do install it, to reroute that line so it's more safe proof.
Well, they did, he did. Line. It's basically in the same spot. But what him and I discussed is I was gonna put a kind of like a sawhorse on it, so it can hang underneath the sawhorse. Well, no, not a sawhorse, but you know, something for it to hang on underneath. So when the snow hits it instead of the line.
That's a good idea.
So something small would be a pony horse. Or a saw pony. Counselor Cook.
What fund would this become out of? What fund would this cost become out of?
Probably get divided between fire, ambulance, general. Street. That's usually how I divide most things.
My concern is if the fire department doesn't have any funds, I can get funds out of the fire department. I don't want them to go to negative.
That's mostly why it's there between ambulance and EMS.
Can I add?
Carol.
I do think that the city should get their old stove back. I think it can be repaired. I think it'd be cleaned out. The only thing is, he took the glass part off, dropped the glass on the ground and broke it. He's gonna try to replace the glass and get it running off-site. And I've worked on them monitors. And this is one thing he didn't want, he, for some reason, didn't want to attempt, was take the cover off and clean out the burn pot. Because those burn pots set up and plug up, and that's why they start having problems like that.
Well, by rights, it is ours, so we will get it back. And if we need it for, you know, another application somewhere,
I think that's what we should do.
we will, it's not theirs, it's ours, so we will get it back. And if we find a new application for it,
It can be emergency, as long as it works.
are we still at discussion? Or- Yeah. Counselor Burbank.
I have a monitor here, and what I've done with mine, because the fuel does get cold in it sometimes, is I took insulated pipe covers and I put it on the outside of my fuel line. And my fuel line has a filter on it, and it's secured and it's okay, but that's what I did with mine, and it's helped out. It helps out my blood. Of course, I don't use mine very much at all because I have wood as well, so that's.
So heat tape probably wouldn't be a good idea, but it helps. I don't have a monitor. So. Okay, any further discussion on the new monitor? Counselor Burbank, would you like to vote?
Yay. Yes,
Counselor Quan Riley,
Yes.
Counselor Campbell,
yes.
Counselor Reeves,
Yes.
Counselor Ferguson,
Yes.
Counselor Cook.
Yes.
Thank you. Council voted unanimously to purchase a new monitor heater for the EMS building. Security cameras for the city. We have had vandalism down at our bathroom. Carol has requested, and it has been requested prior a number of times for the security camera down there. With the ones that I have found, we can get 4 cameras that'll cover, we'll be out of pocket $11 for these cameras. They come with batteries, they're a 2-year battery. They come with the SD card that come ready to install. My hopes is to have one monitor every money spot that we have in town, which is 4. We have money at the 2 money drop-offs at the park, 1 for camping, 1 for the donations. We have a drop box up here for water payments, and we have people coming in paying cash money. We have money in the clerk's office. With that, we will be secured in case of any possible action, or if there is an action, we are able to capture it on video. I anticipate, and I want to try to, I want to look into, not right now, but in the future, getting Wi-Fi down at at our park. These cameras are Wi-Fi capable, so if we do get Wi-Fi down at the park, Terrell, whoever is on the app, Terrell would probably be the one. He can have a live feed, so if he sees somebody backing over a power meter at the park, you can capture it.
Or lighting a garbage can.
Or lighting a garbage can on fire, or relieving themselves at the bathrooms. So basically, these cameras are free. They were $11 out of pocket.
How many?
4.
8.
What do we need 8 for?
You got all the hotspots?
That we cover where money sensitive areas.
Okay. Not one for outdoor or for the door here? The building?
I mean, there would be something to consider.
Okay, all right.
You could definitely make the motion for 5 cameras.
No,
If you-
they're $40 each.
Okay. I'll
Counselor Cook.
So you're thinking 2 at the park for the money boxes, one for the water payments up in the city office, 1 inside the office. How about 1 for the restroom?
No.
What started off?
There is. There's gonna be 1 at the restroom. There's gonna be 1 at the park watching the money box there. And I believe it'll even pick up people that are vandalizing. Because we had an incident where people have run over things and not said anything to anybody. And then the other one, yes, one would be monitoring our money box at the EMS hall and the outside of the city hall. And one, I don't know if we're gonna put the one inside the office or outside the office, because that way you can watch. I mean, that's to be determined. We're just trying to be able to purchase these. And then, but there will be, those are the 4 key spots that do need to be monitored.
Are these in a 2-pack? But
They're-
they're being bought down.
they're individual.
They're individual.
Yeah, and the deal that Amazon has right now, you can buy individual ones for $39 or a 2-pack for $99. Right? Terrell,
I don't know, they sound kind of cheap to me.
well, if
What
the,
brand are they?
It's in I mean, I didn't have any help. I was under the gun to locate something to present. They are 1080p color night vision, 2-way talk, AI motion detection spotlight. I did. They have a 4.5 out of 5-star rating.
That sounds pretty-
And if we do need something stronger to monitor more at the park, it's just right now we need something with no Wi-Fi. It's easy to get Wi-Fi cameras. They're a dime a dozen.
Are they these ones?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
No, I don't know if there's any behind it.
Counselor Cook.
Okay, some of this is with the CIS risk management for security cameras, and some of that money is gonna be involved with these cameras.
$11 approximately.
We're gonna save $11 through CIS.
Oh, I don't know how much this is gonna save on our premium.
No, yeah, but it says,
The cameras are $39.99 each, 98, so you're looking at roughly $160. The grant money is $149 and change, so like I said, you're out about $11. And you do come with everything, mounting bracket. I believe they even come with tamper resistant screws
yes.
and things like that. Carol,
I guess since we might as well, because since they're from Amazon, if they're not good enough, we can send them back.
we can. Counselor Herbert Vance, your hand's probably getting tired by now.
Thank you, thank you. Just the blood running out, you know.
It was looking pretty pale.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion that we purchase 5 of these cameras so that we had one here at this building as well. I know that we don't have as much money transactions here, but there's also a security issue that I think needs to be monitored here as well.
Okay.
So that's, I'd like to have.
Councilor Cook.
Yeah, I see the, I was gonna ask you. I see security issue here being not much is inside this building, and we have trucks, we have tools, we have equipment over here.
Hang on,
Okay.
we need a second, and if we need further discussion. Councilor Clint Riley.
I second that.
Motion made by Councilor Burbank, seconded by Councilor Clint Riley to purchase 5 no Wi-Fi security cameras. Open for discussion.
Have to restate mine?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
that'd be good.
Yeah, I think here in this building, it needs to be more for the trucks and the equipment and the tools.
Yes, the garage.
Exactly, yes,
Excellent.
more than anything else
That's
here.
perfect. Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Burbank, how would you vote, please?
Yes.
Councilor Clint Riley.
Yes.
Councilor Catmull.
Yes.
Councilor Reese.
Yes.
Councilor Fraser.
Yes.
Councilor Cook.
Yes,
Thank you, council. That would be 5. I think they're actually 10% off. That's why they're cheaper than buying a 2-pack. The Weeder County Trading, we tabled Northwest Clerks.
No.
it's gone.
Yeah.
She's gonna pay.
Okay. I had highlighted for a reason. Northwest Clerks Institute Professional Development in June. Madam Clerk.
So I can ask for a scholarship opportunity, but I have to pay for it first. And the commitment is that you be on a committee, which I already am. So I was wondering what the council thought about paying for it and me getting a scholarship to refund the city.
You did, there is information in the packet about what it's about, right?
Yep.
Thank you. Councilor Burbank.
I'd like to make a motion that we allow Krista to go ahead and purchase her classes and then ask for the reimbursement to get the,
Because the scholarships don't open until,
They're already open.
Oh,
They're already open.
but they require you to pay for the class, so your class is set and then reimbursement.
yes.
Yeah, and I believe the window closes in the first week in February
Okay.
for scholarships.
Yeah, so that's real close.
Councilor Catmull.
I'd like to second Patty's motion.
Motion is made by Councilor Burbank, seconded by Councilor Catmull for fees to be paid for the Northwest Clerks Institute Professional Development in June. Open for discussion. Councilor Reed.
I can't find it here, but what is the cost and how long is it?
It's, I'm going to professional development 1, June 4th through the 9th. And it depends on the options. There's, they have a, when you rack all together, everybody sleeps together, a dorm. They have dorm package or you pay for lodging on your own. And I've also talked with Leah Walker from Boston. She's going to be attending, so I think there's a ride share potential there. So the actual cost depends on, I guess,
Well,
what you're allowing.
what's the guesstimate?
Well, registration is $650. Over
$600?
$150. The overnight lodging and meals is $475, and the commuter meal package, if I don't have the overnight lodging, meal is $275 if you stay off campus. So if I stay off campus, then there's still lodging.
Okay.
But if we ride share,
Yeah.
hopefully that would be
Yeah.
cheaper. Yeah. And it's in Tacoma.
Take a bulletproof vest. In
For
Tacoma? In Tacoma? You've been to Tacoma.
Yeah, they don't have a brewery there anymore.
I know that's.
Well, I mean, they do, but not.
So motion is made, seconded. Any further discussion? That's okay.
So this could total up to approximately, give or take, $1,400.
I think it's
I'm doing 650, 475, and 275.
the two, it's either you choose the 475 or the 275, so that means you'd be paying for meals. Or sorry, lodging on your own if you have the 275. And then 650. I think I had it at around 1150, and that's not included.
Well, we're cold as heck.
Oh, well, that was,
Yeah, hey, it blew up.
Yeah, sure.
oh,
That thing up your fireplace, please.
Delaney, can you throw some more wood on the fire?
In the back.
In the back, in the back, Bob. It's set on 90.
And those don't work that well.
Nothing's blowing out of there.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Councilor Burbank, you vote.
Yes.
Councilor Quant Riley,
No.
Councilor Tuttle,
Yes.
Councilor Reeves,
No.
Councilor Ferguson,
Yes.
Councilor Clerk,
No.
or Cook. So, means it's a 3-3 tie, goes to the mayor for breaking the tie. Being that it's educational, means that we do have money for training. That's why the money is set aside. I will to vote yes for funding of that. Thank you, council. Moving forward, we're to join Oregon Managers Association. I believe that's in your packet also.
I get a student rate for joining for $30 rather than the $88.50. And this also provides the listserv on the other portion of the job that is not work stuff, with HR, planning. It's got the benefits to it. The listserv is a really great asset. It is, you guys have benefited so much from the listserv from the Clerks Association.
And Managers Association gives you more, like you said, HR, more things that even though you don't have that title, you are very much involved in. And how much was it? $30?
$30 for the student rate.
You're a student. Councilor Burbank.
It lists in the benefits that there's a conference scholarship program. Is this, with joining this, would that help out any type of scholarship program that you might get with the clerks?
So
They kind of team together. don't they,
yeah,
right?
so the one that we just looked at with the Northwest Clerks Institute that partners with the Clerks Association. And so I can apply for the scholarships through our national league and then through our local league, which is OAMR. And it's the same thing with the Managers Association, where you can get scholarships to go to conferences, trainings, things like that. And I always try to get as much scholarships as possible, like Lee Bergen City. Anytime I can get a scholarship, I put in for it. So, yeah, so yes, you can. And it's $30 if we find, and Susie used to be registered with them. And so when I tried to log in it pulled up Susie, I was like, okay, why do you my own account, not one that Susie was on? And like I said, it's $30. If 1 year, if we don't like it after 1 year, it's not useful, then of course we wouldn't.
But we've both benefited from the listservs we're on.
Is there, are there any benefit? Of course, there's so many benefits to it, but are there benefits that the council would be able to, you can either print off information that the counselors would be able to be helpful to any or all of us.
Yeah, just as like the stuff that I forwarded you late this afternoon, that came from the clerk's listserv. So what you do is you go, hey, I'm looking for XYZ, and then you get a whole bunch of people that go, all right, here's our code. Like you get Milwaukee does a lot where they'll say like, here's all the stuff, here's to point you right to exactly what you're looking for. This is what this small city uses. And so we've already used ordinances and things through the listserv. So you guys have already benefited quite a bit from the Clerks Association. And so I went to the managers at League of Oregon Cities Conference. I went to that workshop, and their conference is kind of the managers conference will be during the spring conference for League of Oregon City. They have just a little section. So I feel like the other part of my job is still kind of needing to get picked up now that the work stuff is kind of on its way. I kind of need more information on that portion of it.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'd like to make the motion that we join the Oregon Managers Association for $30 a year.
Thank you, Councilor Bennett.
I would like to second that.
Motion made by Councilor Ferguson, second by Councilor Bennett to join the Oregon Mayors Association for a $30 fee. Any discussion? Councilor Bennett, how would you like to vote, please?
Yes.
Councilor Riley,
Yes.
Councilor Bennett,
Yes.
Councilor Reeves,
Yes.
Councilor Ferguson,
Yes.
Councilor Cook.
Yes.
Thank you. Unanimous to join the Oregon Managers Association. Resignation from Water Board. Jenny Davis notified me a couple weeks ago that due to his scheduling, he has resigned from the Water Board. I attended, the clerk attended the Water Board meeting. They are looking for people to be part of their Water Board. I believe they're going to reach out to
A community
a
person.
community member who does have an extensive amount of knowledge in water. So do we need a motion to accept the resignation? So I would like to ask the council to make a motion to accept Dennis Davis's resignation. Councilor Burbank.
I would like to make a motion to accept Denny Davis's resignation from the Water Board.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Councilor Burbank has made the motion. Councilor Cook has seconded to accept the resignation from Dennis Davis. Any discussion? No discussion. Councilor Burbank, I would like to vote. Please.
Yes.
Councilor Quantrill,
Reluctantly, yes.
Councilor Catmull,
Yes.
Councilor Reeves,
Yes.
Councilor Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilor Cook.
Yes.
Council has unanimously accepted the resignation from the Water Board of Dennis Davis. Moving on, we are to a leak adjustment of $121.50.
Yes, this person had a leak, a legitimate leak, and this is 50% of their.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the leak adjustment of $121.50.
Councilor Quantrill.
I second that.
Motion made by Councilor Burbank, seconded by Councilor Quantrill to accept the leak adjustment of $121.50. Councilor Reeves.
Is this, two things. Has this person had this issue before, and is this person able to pay even their share?
They already paid their share and no, they haven't.
No, okay.
And it's allowed by every 5 years?
Yes.
A leak adjustment is every 5 years.
I should know that.
So motion is made by Councilor Burbank, Councilor Ryden seconded. Any further discussion? Councilor Burbank, how would you vote, please?
Yes.
Councilor Quantrill,
Yes.
Councilor Catmull,
Yes.
Councilor Reeves, Councilor Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilor Cook.
Yes.
Thank you. Leak adjustment passed unanimously. $121.50. Thank you. Reimbursement for elected essentials by mileage. We do have, the fund is set up for reimbursement of travel expenses involved in trainings.
I figured it would just be easier if we just approved a certain mileage. I believe the federal mile was 69 cents. 69 cents a mile.
Yeah.
But that way, because some people didn't get gas receipts and we know that these people went, and so that way it would help offset the cost.
The rate went up a lot. It used to be, was 52 cents a mile last time I checked it.
Well, you've seen price of gas, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, that doesn't make any difference.
65.5 cents as of December 29th, 2022.
I'm not hurting enough.
What is it? 60?
65.5 cents.
That's reimbursable for both directions or one direction to where you're going?
Both directions.
Well,
You don't have to. If you like where you're going, you can stay.
Just stay at the airport, right?
yeah, that's okay.
Or on the park bench. I guess hopefully it encourages the trainings, the conferences. Hopefully it relieves the burden of people that are questioning, well, I can't afford to go. But I know every time I go to a training or a conference or anything, I come back with more knowledge than when I walked in, and I feel it's beneficial to work with them.
Because I went to meeting. Right, yeah, in the Telus. Now, would I be allowed to go ahead and make the motion? And then if
Good
it's
question.
seconded, and then will I be able to vote on that?
That's a good question.
It is a good question. I just wanted to put out there, it's $50.43
For the trip from the Tullis.
for 77 miles at 65.5 cents.
So it would be double that.
So it'd be double that.
You're
It's 77 miles to my Tullis.
Oh,
Good
Thank
catch, girl.
so it would be $100.87.
And with that, I do encourage carpooling. That way it alleviates the cost from the city and that time to come on, talk amongst yourselves on something. It's kind of a bonding thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless you have a big Suburban or something, somebody sitting in the way back,
You can't have three counselors in the
Maybe
one
you have a
time.
mayor and two councilors,
Oh, yeah.
or you have two
Yeah.
councilors and a mayor.
Now, when we took Patrick's bus,
Councilor first.
So back to the making the motion, because I'm not sure on that. So if people have already went to the training, can we make the motion into?
The people that attended the training may not.
But then you wouldn't be able to pre-approve it either.
Right.
And, right, so. Because if you all voted on it and you all went anyway, I mean, that it's the same thing. Pre-approving or,
is that something that we should talk to LOC about?
why don't, maybe we could table this and come back at it.
Okay, okay. I'd like to make a motion
Or very good
for us
battery.
to table this question here. And the reimbursement until more knowledge.
Would you like clarification from the attorney on that? Or should we? reach out?
Actually, no, I'd like to get clarification first from the LOC and from CIS and from your lists and from your list.
Okay, we can do
And
that.
I'd like for the two of you to both check your lists to figure out
Second twice.
if we end up having to take, put it to the attorney after
Yes,
your lists have been
I-
expired.
I have
and the
no
LLC
problem doing that. I'm
Okay.
sure the clerk has no problem reaching out to hers.
Okay.
We just really need to contact the Ethics Commission because they're the ones, like we were talking about the stipend. They were the ones that said, hey, this is not okay, or it is okay. So if I just call the Ethics Commission or email them, is that okay with you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, as long as we exhaust all our efforts to find out one way or the other before we actually go and start turning on the charge card. So, yeah,
So the motion was to table it until we get further information.
clarification on how we can proceed with this.
Council Ferguson. Motion made by Council Burbank, seconded by Councilor Ferguson to table the motion for reimbursement for mileage for training. Any further discussion? Councilor Burbank, have a direct vote, please.
Yeah.
Councilor Quantrell,
Yes.
Councilor Catmull,
Yes.
Councilor Reed,
Yes.
Councilor Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilor Cook.
Yes.
Council passed unanimously to table the reimbursement for further information. Water contract mutual agreement action to send to. Okay. You want to say? You got me scared over here.
Well, I think this is something that we already probably have done before, but I didn't feel comfortable sending it anywhere until the council gave their blessing. I can't find it. It's this one. This one.
Program public work, monkey.
Yeah. Okay. Cooperative agreement.
Were you weren't able to find any record at the office of us entering into one of these prior?
No. Doesn't mean it's not in the box somewhere.
Well, right, but. Now, see, generally speaking, whenever the city enters into a agreement, that's something that goes to the attorney. Generally speaking, I'm not saying this has to go to.
Mutual aid agreements with the fire departments don't go through the attorney usually.
And he won't stand by it if he doesn't.
I know.
That's not necessarily true either, but
Well, contracts, things like that do go before the attorney.
I think the Cape Co one went over to him just to make sure everything was okay.
Councilor Cook,
Can you possibly summarize what this is? I'm not gonna read through it. Well, I mean, what is the contract for and what does it cover? Real briefly.
It's a mutual agreement. I mean,
the mutual agreement with the forestry, or is that the one that the forestry is?
I feel like if you don't know what it is, that maybe we should not,
Take time to read it before you.
right. You should understand what you're sending off.
That's something you had me look through too.
Is that the one that for the fourth through the spring?
It's like you have an incident commander and how that plays out and how your documentation, your workers comp, there's a lot to that. And I would feel better if you send it to the attorney to have his consideration, say, yes, this is fine.
Is it just the renewal of?
It is.
So we're unable to find any record of a previous one.
Oh,
I think it said every 5 years.
Who is it with? Between who and who?
ODOT, isn't it?
Yes.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Oregon Department of Transportation Maintenance and Operations grants
Okay.
shall maintain a master copy of this agreement, including the list of all the governmental entities that have executed.
So it's not for the spring.
Okay, so there isn't this for, so that ODOT will have the ability to come in and scrape the roads.
No.
We have,
We don't have a written agreement. for that. It's-
Yes, we do.
Oh, there, you did,
Yes, we
okay.
do.
So, no, that one does not apply to that. I think it needs a little more homework. I looked over the agreement and.
Hello?
Hello?
The chat apparently isn't letting y'all know I'm talking.
Oh. Have you been talking? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead and continue.
Was there a deadline on this agreement? Or-
I don't think so.
Got a date of 12/30/2020.
Well, that's, I think that's a good. good
That's
sign.
right. That's when we received it. We've been receiving so much stuff that
Yeah.
I can't really keep it. Separate. Oh, but it was no valid. Is there anything that needed attention or? So we are,
So did we decide to do what with this?
there hasn't been a
Oh,
motion.
sorry.
made on-
It enables public works agencies to support each other during an emergency, provides mechanism for immediate response for request and offers of mutual aid. Sets up the documentation needed to seek maximum reimbursement possible.
Everything that I read through it, we're not financially obligated, some basis, just so agreeing that if we need ODOT to come in or any other state agency to come in with assistance, kind of like what the fire department has to spray. But
Yeah,
again,
Yeah.
we're entering into an agreement that I have no prior knowledge of, and we're unable to find any documentation on a prior agreement.
since we're still questioning, is it possible for you to contact Susie and just ask her?
For what?
Because she's the one that signed up on this before. And ask, to ask her for a clarification on what this is.
I don't think that would be prudent. I think that, the contract should probably be reviewed by the attorney. To get legal advice rather than the previous clerk, like me as a clerk, I don't feel good about just saying, hey, sign this. I could, but
Council Ferguson.
I'd like to make a motion that we have a mutual agreement action sent to the attorney and have it looked at.
You.
I'd
Councilor
like to
Catmull.
second that motion.
Councilor Ferguson made the motion, Councilor Catmull seconded to send a water contract mutual agreement to the attorney for approval. Any further discussion? Or any discussion? Any further discussion? Councilor Berger, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilor Pomerant,
Yes.
Councilor Catmull,
Yes.
Councilor Reeves,
Yes, please.
Councilor Ferguson,
Yes.
Councilor Cook.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Water contract mutual agreement will be sent to the attorney for review and approval. Thank you. That takes a load off of those people. Okay, we're at council comments. I will set a 2-minute.
Wait,
Oh.
wait, one more.
Hi, what did I miss?
You're on the wrong agenda.
I'm on the fast track. Okay.
Good try.
I'm
Trying to
hungry.
get us out of here.
What did I miss? Oh. North River bill of $1,666 is for the wiring of the new stage down at the city park.
Didn't we already cover that we agreed to pay this?
I
Council?
thought you guys did.
I thought we did.
It was talked about down at the park, but it wasn't.
It was talked about up here.
What month?
Look at my, go to my paper.
At the end of last
You
year.
guys talked about, Tony brought it up at the meeting, but there was never a motion to approve the funds.
We approved to pay for it because he asked us if we would help pay for it.
No, so November, I actually went back and listened to the recording to make sure that that was the case. And what the motion was to pay for the attorney's fees. And she said, while I got you here, I got this bill. And then he said, okay, I'll get a hold of somebody. And then that's all. There was never a motion to pay $1,666. I didn't even get this until after.
I do believe the discussions we had, it was gonna come out of tourism. Councilor Ferguson,
I'd like to make a motion that we pay North River bill $1,666.
Out of what fund?
The tourism.
Councilor Cook.
Second,
Motion made by Councilor Ferguson, second by Councilor Cook to pay the $1,666 out of tourism fund. Any further, or any discussion? Any further discussion? Councilor Burba Bennett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilor Conrad,
Yes.
Councilor Campbell,
Yes.
Councilor Reed,
Yes.
Councilor Ferguson,
Yes.
Councilor Cook.
yes.
Thank you. Council is approved to pay the North River bill $1,666 out of tourism fund. Oregon Frontier Chamber invoice. It is time that we renew our city membership with the Oregon Frontier Chamber. Councilor Cook.
I make a motion that we pay the yearly Oregon Frontier Chamber of Commerce of $100.
Councilor Conrad.
Second that.
Okay, Councilor Cook made the motion. Councilor Riley made the motion to pay the Oregon Frontier Chamber invoice of $100. That's for the yearly subscription for the city to be a part-time.
I just have a little bit to ask for discussion.
Madam Clerk,
So-
open for discussion. Madam Clerk.
So last time you guys said that you wanted a year to evaluate how you'd like to be with the chamber. If you guys are okay, we'll just put it on regular course of business instead of coming every month before the council. I don't know how anybody feels about that, but instead of every year asking. them.
Councilor Cook.
I think that's a good idea, except for if this amount changes. We need to know if this amount goes up or
Sure,
changes.
sure.
But, yeah.
Councilor Cook.
I make a motion that we agree to continue this as a regular payment to the council, but to be able to talk, discuss, and vote on it if the cost increase.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilor Reeves. Councilor Cook made a motion. Councilor Reeves seconded a motion to pay the Oregon Frontier invoice of $100 and continue paying unless a pay increase will be brought back to council for discussion. Open for discussion, Councilor Madam Clerk.
So that, we have two motions on the table.
Oh, sorry, what was the first?
Chamber to pay $100, no, it's okay, but chamber to pay $100 first, if we can get a vote for
Oh,
that.
okay. Was that one seconded?
It was seconded.
Okay, Councilor, discussion on paying the $100. Open for discussion. No discussion. Councilor Burbank, how do you vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilor Catmull.
Yes.
Councilor Reeves,
Pardon me, what are we voting on now?
just to initially pay the $100
Oh,
for the chamber.
okay, yes, yes.
Councilor Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilor Cook.
Yes.
Thank you. Council is approved to pay the Oregon Chamber invoice of $100. Now, the second motion that Councilor Cook made was to continue to pay it unless there's a rate increase. Counselor Ferguson.
Second that motion.
Counselor Cook made a motion, Counselor Ferguson seconded the motion to continue paying on a yearly basis unless there's a rate increase. Any discussion? No discussion. Counselor Verba, how do you vote?
Yes.
Counselor Clark,
Yes.
Counselor Catmull,
Yes.
Counselor Reed,
Yeah, yes.
Counselor Ferguson,
Yes.
Counselor Cook.
Yes.
Thank you. Council has approved to continue on a yearly basis unless there's an increase, and we'll look at it at that point. Dave Boy's construction invoice of $808.
Excuse me,
Oh,
200 business
darn
applications.
it. Ordinance 200 business application. I believe the clerk has brought to the council a business application, which we have discussed. And Councilor Reed.
I move to table that till next meeting. This application.
Okay, so
They're calling me home.
Is that you? We'll turn that thing on.
Councilor Reeves made a motion to table this until our next council meeting or a
Correct,
work session.
Correct.
Councilor Reeves made the motion. Councilor Quant Riley has seconded the motion to table the ordinance 200 until our February meeting. Open for discussion. Okay.
Yeah, my concern, I don't know, something to think about for the next meeting, or I can bring up the next meeting if you want me to. The way I read this, is any business that comes into the city to do business, a business that does business within the city, whether they're from the city or from outside the city, they have to have a license, correct?
Mhm.
So another fossil fuel comes and gives us fuel, they have to have a license.
No, they don't have a business within the city. It's whatever business is
Okay,
within the city.
okay, this contract is not clarified within the city, just to let you guys know, not directly. It says any businesses doing business in the city, not within the, city, not housed in the city. This is something I noticed. We'll discuss it later.
Segmented the table for
Next.
our February meeting. Any further discussion? Councilor Verboen, how would you vote? To table.
Table. Yes.
Councilor Quant Riley,
Yes.
Councilor Catmull,
Yes.
Councilor Reeves,
Please.
Councilor Ferguson,
Yes.
Councilor Cook.
Yes,
Motion passed to table the ordinance 200 discussion to our February meeting. Now, Madam Clerk.
I would ask, though, that I not have to put this in the packet again.
Save it.
Yeah, you do bring your
Yeah.
packet back the next.
Save the trees.
Save the trees.
Okay, so now are we to the Dave Boyce
Mm-hmm.
construction invoice of $808, and that's for the gravel, the walkway to the
Pavilion,
the pavilion, is that what you?
until it has a stage.
Okay, so it's a, and that's required by,
Handicap, ADA law, and I believe we discussed potentially taking it out of community development.
I believe, yes. Sounds about right.
I'd like to make a motion that we pay the construction invoice of 808 out of community development.
Thank you, Councilor Cook.
second it.
Thank you. Councilor Ferguson's made motion. Councilor Cook has seconded to pay the invoice to Dave Boyce of $808. Councilor Reeves.
I think the stage is a wonderful thing, and I think the idea was presented wonderfully, but the thing that excited me most about it was the city wasn't gonna have to pay a thing. The city wasn't gonna have to pay a thing. Now we're in thousands of dollars for electrical bills and another 800 and change for something else. How much more is to be spent on this free pavilion?
Nothing to my knowledge.
No, I'm
Or
not,
if
I'm
we
not
do a
saying it's people's
stage.
fault. I understand, but who's gonna pay the yearly insurance on it?
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
We had to add it to our insurance.
Of course, that's free. Okay. But any more charges on this? I mean, any more Is it done? Is it finished?
It is not. The one thing that needs to be done, which was an oversight on the part of the committee, was that center pole is not supposed to be there. So that's going to be removed. But as far as I know, the Painted Hills Festival Committee is paying for that.
So any other charges will be brought first before the council. So, of course, it's part of the fun. I kind of lost where we're at. Is there, there was a motion made and seconded, motion made by Councilor Ferguson, seconded by Councilor Cook. Any further discussion? Councilor Burbank, how would you vote?
Yes.
Councilor Conrad,
Yes.
Councilor Catmull,
Yes.
Councilor Reeves,
Yes.
Councilor Ferguson,
Yes.
Councilor Cook.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Council is approved to pay the $808 for Dave Boyce out of Community Development Fund. Now,
No,
You have budget prep ideas from Councilor Cook.
What?
to do what?
Budget prep
Oh.
ideas from Councilor Cook.
Councilor Cook,
Sorry, guys, I'll make this quick. Okay,
you made the motion, right?
yes.
Was it seconded?
Oh,
No.
no, we didn't make a motion, we discussed it.
To add it to the agenda.
Okay.
Okay,
No, it's on the agenda.
so now it's on the agenda and that's what we're talking.
I
She's
thought we had to
gonna-
approve it to be put on the
Yeah.
agenda.
We did.
At the beginning.
Where was I?
Right here. Right where you're at.
Let's move it out. So now
Yeah,
she's
I
doing
can-
her proposal to let
Okay,
them propose.
Okay.
Councilor Cook, please.
I think these need to be done before we actively get into the budget thing. One thing I would like to make a motion or a suggestion of, I'll make a motion, then we can go from there. I want to make two motions. First one, I want to make a motion that we have an outside source create our budget this year, so we don't put it all on the clerk. And that's something that we need to plan. Would the council like to, I would ask the council if they would like to have an outside source service do our budget for us this year.
Okay, but first of all, we haven't budgeted for that. Second of all, do you know how many thousands of dollars that's going to be? Do you have any quotes that you can bring with a dollar amount of how much that's going to cost? Because basically, you're gonna need a bookkeeping firm, you're gonna need an accounting firm, you're going to need a number of resources, not only to come in with here to do it. It's just not as simple as, it's up to the council what they want to do, but you're looking at
Thousands.
$15,000, $20,000,
$20,000.
which number one, we did not budget for. Number two, we don't have the money to, we do, we can pull money from whatever. So if council would like to entertain it, the motion is made. I guess we'll see if the motion gets seconded.
Should I wait for that?
Yes.
And they want seconded.
I'll second
No, it's
that.
fine.
Councilor Reeves has seconded the motion to have a outside source do our budget,
Pardon me,
open for discussion.
I'm sorry, was that to go ahead and get one or to look into?
Look into.
Okay, there's a
That's
difference
a good
there.
idea.
Looking into and having.
Okay,
an
so
outside-
you need to reword your motion because what you said was to have somebody come in and do it.
Okay. I would like to make a motion to look into having a service, a company come in and do our budget.
Who's going to do the looking into?
I guess I can,
I can also.
yeah, I think,
I,
Second,
So, excuse me, we've got two motions on the table now.
how about three?
no, one at a time is great. So, Councilor Cook, could you rescind your very first motion?
okay, we send my first motion.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to look into having a service or a company do our budget for this upcoming year and look into quotes and costs. I can do it, and anybody else wants to join me, they're welcome to.
Reeves.
Second,
Councilor Cook made a motion to look into having an outside source do our budget. Council Reeves has seconded. Madam Clerk.
So all of the discussion that was talked about meeting and audit and all of that stuff, what happened after that? How come nobody got an audit? How come this council still can't get on board with the financial review, but then you're gonna go on to a firm who's gonna do your budget for you and who's gonna keep you on track once they do this audit? Are they now going to take over all of the finances, or are they gonna hand it back to the clerk to then give you documents to tell you where you are in your budget? I mean, it seems like if the person who's managing your budget isn't integral in keeping the council on track or saying, hey, you're over budget, if you're gonna maintain them all throughout the year. Well, if the person, if we come up with it, we know what it is that we are doing. And then you're also taking that part of the job description out of it. I did on my own because I knew that you guys would probably like to look into an audit. And Acuity is used over in Fossil. They charge Fossil $15,000 for their audit, when we pay $5,000 for a financial review. Just to give you the difference between population, funding, and just that amount of difference, 5,000 to about 15,000. All I have to do is send me the budget details, and then they'll give me a more specific quote. But they actually come in and go through your receipts and all of your invoices and things like that. But everybody kept saying, we need an audit, we need an audit, and not one person brought to the council to do an audit.
Okay. What's the difference between a financial review and an audit?
They don't come over and look through your invoices. They basically they just do a general review and they go, okay, we looked at some things, and they describe their process in the book, the financial review. They describe their process, but they don't come in and pick up papers or anything. Where your audit, they are looking at your invoices. Do they match? What is this for? Did they go out of the correct funds? And they can make corrections to sort out your books if something needs to be changed. Whereas your review, they say, here's our suggestions of the things that you need to enter because we're not your auditors. And Cochran cannot be our auditors because they do our review and it would be a conflict of interest. So I see what you're doing with this high level of accountability, and that's great. But what you need to do, in my opinion, is finish your review. Finish up what is already your responsibility, and then let's talk about it and budget for it.
I think you can take a lot of the budget stress out of you, and once the budget is created, I think you can manage it. It's keeping us up to date, what's coming in and out. I don't
You
see
don't
that as a
know that.
little.
How can she manage something she doesn't create? Because basically you're turning all your financials over to an accountant, a bookkeeper. They're gonna charge you not only to do the initial, but they're gonna charge you a monthly, quarterly maintenance of that account. It's very pricey.
No, I'm thinking about just looking into having to do the budget for us. So we don't have to do it 5 or 6 times. Once it's there, it's there. Hopefully it'll be sound.
Okay, but, okay, you hire ABC budgeting, do your budget, it's brought to the council, you still have to approve that budget.
Yes.
If you don't approve that budget, it goes back to them to rework it at another cost.
And how did they get that information? Like, if you don't submit a budget to them to do, then how did they come up with one?
Councilor Ferguson.
It is not the city clerk's job to make the budget. It's the heads of department is to make the budget and is to give to the city clerk. It is to us as council members to come up and have ideas and whatnot to give to the city clerk for the budget. So do we all understand that? I mean,
Yeah.
if that's understood, then city heads, do your job. They'll go down to her, the city clerk. We all want something different. We come here, we all say, I'm looking at this. We agree, put it in the budget, move on. Have our goal or 4-year goal. There's all sorts of stuff in there. So that's how it's supposed to roll out.
And I do believe once everybody is doing the budget training, they understand the function, the workings of a budget. I think it'll be a lot smoother because number one, we had a clerk to create a budget with no former training. She did her training. We had a council or the budget committee. Once I feel the training is acquired and accomplished, a lot of questions will be answered that were not answered or were browbeat at our last budget meeting. But it's up to the council if they would like to look into having somebody do our budget. Councilor Cook?
So you don't foresee the learning with the issues we had last year because you were just learning? You don't foresee that in this future budget?
With the council doing training also, understanding how a budget is, where a budget is coming from, how the budget is spread out. I don't think so. I did some budget training. I believe Councilor Ferguson did some budget training. I believe Councilor Bergerbank in the past has done council or budget training. It doesn't, it's free training. I've been the mayor longer than the clerk has. I've been on budget committees. I didn't know the ins and outs of it. And I feel that budget training is very, very essential.
Well, I'll leave up to the council to decide.
So Councilor Cook, it was seconded by Councilor Reeves, I believe, or? Right?
Correct.
Councilor Cook made the motion, Councilor Reeves seconded the motion to look into having somebody get cost estimates of how much they're in charge to do our budget. And please, when you do that, bring some more information, have information sent from the firm to the city via email, via CC, BCC, whatever it is, that way it's documented. Any further discussion? Councilor.
To reiterate, this is strictly to
Look into.
look into
Get
it.
quotes.
Yeah.
And quotes
Get
and
quotes.
ongoing, what it all entails.
Absolutely,
Brandon, just looking at sticker price,
absolutely.
read the fine lines. Any further discussion? Councilor Bergerbank,
I don't know.
Councilor Quant Riley,
Yes.
Councilor Catmull,
No.
Councilor Reeves,
Yes.
Councilor Ferguson,
No,
Councilor Cook.
Abstain.
So we will not look into entertaining somebody to do our budget. Vote was 3 no's, 2 ayes, 1 abstain. Thank you, council. Was there, you said you had a second motion, Councilor Cook?
Yeah, and that one was to actually do. I'm not gonna make the motion until I get some explanation for it, but the idea was to have an audit done instead of a financial review.
So we,
Somebody actually coming in, looking at our books, make sure they're right, make sure they're correct.
so would you like the clerk to reach out to get a estimate, a quote, to see how much a full audit would be and how far back of an audit would you like to do? As far as I know, the city has never had a full-on audit. Madam Clerk.
When you spend over a certain amount of money, it automatically triggers an audit, and we may be there at this year. We'll have to find out after the review is done, but a certain amount of money, I think it's 250,000, is an automatic audit. And so that's why we fall under the review process.
So repeat if you can, repeat what you said. You want me to ask the clerk?
If you would like the clerk to find out how much, get a quote, to how much an audit, a full audit would be and how many years back you would like to go on for audit. Madam Clerk.
I don't know if that satisfies what I just said though, because that was before. Is that I already did reach out to Acuity. All I have to do is send them the budget detail and then they can give a full quote. I just know that fossils is 15,000 and some change.
You know how long of a term that was, how far they went back? You know,
It's every year.
Fossil has to get audited every
Every
year
year because they
because of
spend
their
over 250,000.
expenditure.
I think we should.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion for the clerk to get a quote to do a full. Wait, let me think this. Get the clerk to do a full forensic audit. Up to a year back, unless council decides to want to go further back.
My suggestion would be you go back 3 years minimum,
That's, all.
Because-
I believe that's how you go about it.
That's normal, isn't it?
you're kind of, you need a starting point because we had so many people in the clerk's position that, and I've said it all along, this city needs an audit because
Okay.
it's never been done. We need to know where we're at, but
Did we word that, Krista?
so is,
What would we send it and add it to make it 3 years? I don't want to keep the whole thing.
Okay, you can, you do what you feel you need to do. I'm just here to write.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to make you crazy, which I'm very good at. Okay, we send the other motion, make a motion for the clerk to get. Now, my hand, I can't remember my handwriting. The clerk to get a quote to do a forensic audit as far back as 3 years.
yeah,
Good.
Councilor Riley, or Quant Riley.
I second that.
Motion made by Councilor Cook, second by Councilor Quant Riley to get a quote for a forensic audit of the past 3 years. Any further discussion? Councilor Reed.
It will cost money, but I think I've been on council for over 6 years and never, an audit has never been mentioned. I think it is money well spent. I don't know what the cost is. I'm getting ahead of myself, but we definitely need something. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Madam Clerk,
So then you're also going to approve the extra allotted time to be in the office to provide these papers and boxes and things that we don't know where things live at this particular junction, correct?
What is that? Come on.
If overtime
Councilor
is
Reed.
needed,
We don't need to be threatened with the hours that somebody works to hold us against us. It's crazy.
she's letting the council be advised that it's going to take extra hours
Oh,
to produce.
I would have
the
never
documents.
thought anything else, Kristen.
Well, I don't know what you're answering. So Cook,
how long, I have no idea. How long do you think this is gonna take? Can we get it done in a month?
Okay, come on, I'm done with this. This stuff is getting ridiculous.
Councilor Bergevin,
As I stated before, I have gone through an IRS audit, Oregon IRS audit. They had my books for 18 months. It took me, with my stuff already to go in boxes and make sure that I had all my stuff. It took me about a week and a half, but I already had my stuff all together in boxes to make sure that I had that stuff to go and deliver that to them. It's very entailed. I happen to be very lucky because I'm very fastidious about everything. If I don't have the receipt for it, it never made my books. A lot of people just write stuff off because, oh, hey, it's okay. It's very intense. It's very intense and it does take a lot of time. And when they had my books this whole entire time, the sweat that was coming off of me, gosh, did I make sure that that went into the right category? Did I do this right? Did I do the other thing right? it's rather quite stressful. I happened to be very lucky when I went through mine, very lucky. But it's, when they decide that they're gonna do that for you, yeah, they take over the office. They'll take over the office. So for Krista to try to be answering telephone calls, conducting any kind of office work, that's not gonna happen. And if she doesn't know where everything is and where every piece of paper is, that's where we'll get real time frame.
Okay.
No,
No,
Can we vote?
if discussion's over. For discussion on Councilor Cook's request, motion, sorry, to get a quote for a forensic audit for the past 3 years. And I believe Councilor Reeves seconded it.
So Counselor Riley,
Councilor Riley seconded, sorry. No further discussion. Councilor Burbank, how did you vote?
this is just for the quote.
This is just for the quote.
Yes.
Councilor Riley,
Yes.
Councilor Catmull,
yes.
Councilor Reeves,
Yep.
Councilor Ferguson,
No.
Councilor Cook.
Yes.
Council has passed 5 yes, 1 no vote to get a quote for a forensic audit for the past 3 years. Is that it for
Counselor comments.
councilor comments? We will start at number 1, work our way down. I'm setting my stopwatch for 2 minutes. We all know what we can and cannot discuss, hopefully. There will be no interruptions. Please stay on track. Please do not start discussions that we cannot get into, please. Councilor Burbank, you are go.
Thank you very much. I didn't pose or prepare a comment for this evening. I commented as we have gone along. So I will be finished and done with my 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Quant Riley, and go.
Okay, thank you. What I'm reporting on or discussing is I contacted the Condon Chamber of Commerce because a letter was written from Airbnbs that we know of, the colored ones, saying that she wasn't going to give the city of Mitchell any money from her, taxes. So I called up the chamber over there and I said, Kaylin, is this something that you guys regularly do, is go ahead and leave the town out and take the money? She goes, no. When she sent me that letter, I about fainted. So I just thought I'd tell you, I looked it up. I got a hold of her, and I'm not going to worry about it then. But she was, doing that. That takes a lot of money from the city. Right?
Yeah.
I'm done.
Thank you.
I don't have anything to say.
Very good. Councilor Reeves, would you like your 2 minutes? Councilor Ferguson, would you like 2 minutes?
Negative.
Negative. Councilor Cook, would you like 2 minutes?
How about a minute? This fireplace is from you, right? It's a loaner to the.
Would you like your 2 minutes?
Okay. If I wasn't bought.
Yes,
It was bought.
it was bought for the part of our community development for this building. Would you like your 2 minutes?
No, because it's gonna be pushing into that again, so I'll bring it up later.
Okay, so I need a motion to adjourn. Councilor Ferguson.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Councilor Quant Riley, motion made by Councilor Burbank, second by Councilor Quant Riley to adjourn this meeting. Councilor Burbank, how do you vote?
Yes.
Counselor Quantrell,
Rural, yes.
Counselor Getman,
Yes.
Counselor Reeves, Counselor Ferguson.
Yes.
Counselor Cook,
Yes.
we are in adjournment at 8:33. Thank you, council.
And to that.
We got a lot done tonight.